We're here at the Isha Yoga Center in the company of Sadhguru. Namaskaram Sadhguru, always a pleasure to speak with you. I met you last at the Mahakumbh
Yep, wonderful
in
to have you
Prayagraj. So from Prayagraj all the way to Coimbatore. Now we've of course got a very different show that we have planned in the sense that we're going to be troubling you for over 2 hours and kind of digging through, trying to understand so many
Let me see
aspects
how
of
deep you
life.
can dig.
Let's see. At the end, I'll take a score from you. But the idea of this, Sadhguru, had actually come during the India Today conclave when you were there in
When you
Delhi.
almost killed me.
Oh my God. Tell us, how are you doing since then? I think you were telling me it's almost going to be a year.
Medically, the doctor said, I should not drive for 1 year and should not ride a motorcycle for 2 years.
You just drove up here.
But not here, but after 19 days after the surgery, I was driving. In 3 months, I was riding to test myself out. I rode intercity rides, over 11-hour rides in United States. I was riding in minus 14 degrees in northern part of America. And recently, 5 days ago, I rode from Bangalore to here. It was just before the Makar Sankranti, where the entire highway from all the way was like city traffic, crazy, wrestling with a motorcycle.
But that's challenging yourself. But is it
Yeah, I
also
just want to
pushing
see if
yourself a bit?
No, I'm just wanting to see if I can, be normal. In every way I'm normal, no medication, nothing. Generally, the doctor said there will be some faculty loss or cognition loss. I don't think I have it, any kind of loss.
Absolutely
I'm fine.
not, yeah.
Only thing is, my average sleep has always been 3.5 years, I'm sorry, 3.5 hours a day. These days I'm sleeping little more. In
That's a good thing.
in between I came to that place where I would naturally wake up at 3.5 hours. But now somehow I'm sleeping 5.5 hours, which I think is these initiations right now, Samyama is going on. These initiations… energetically if I do something, I'm sleeping more. That means I'm not fully normal.
But you're telling me 3.5 hours of sleep is normal? Isn't
It
that
is.
abnormal, Sadhguru?
No. See, the thing is, you take a buffalo as a standard and then you say that's the normal. Don't do that. A human being, 24 hours what you have, you can't fulfill your potential in 24 hours, even if you have 100 years of life.
Yeah.
So if you sleep 8 hours a day, 1/3 of your life you're sleeping it out. Huh?
I sleep 8 hours a day.
1/3 is gone.
But it's a good way to spend your day, you're sleeping.
No, who said it's a good way? You're dead.
You're dreaming, you're calming your body.
You're dead. Essentially, your body needs 1/3 of the time maintenance. Suppose you had a car where 10 days in a month it needs maintenance.
I throw it
You
away.
get it out, get rid of it, right? So that's what you're doing to yourself. Why is it needing so much maintenance? We must look at it. You do some simple practices that I tell you and eat the way I tell you, you will sleep half of what you're sleeping and still be fine.
Okay, I'll
Because
test it out tonight.
body needs restfulness. Body does not need sleep. Sleep is death.
I'll test it out tonight, Sadhguru, after this conversation.
Only one day.
We're going to talk of mindful eating, we're going to talk of spirituality. And just to revisit again, Sadhguru, what happened then last year. How did you feel? You were at the India Today conclave. The doctors had advised you against it, but you chose to be…
He was there in the event, he was so scared that I'll collapse right
My
there.
God. But you chose, and I remember meeting you then. I had no idea that anything was wrong. I've met you before, I met you then. Everything seemed perfectly fine. So when I first found out that something had happened, I think this was 3 days after, I was shocked. I said, how is that possible?
See, they started 6 weeks ahead, sometime in February at that time, because Mahashivratri was 8th of March. 6 weeks ahead of it, I started having excruciating pain. Then I knew there is pressure in the brain, something happening, some leak, whatever it is. I had a few knocks here and there, trying to headbutt the ball very hard and things like that. So I knew something has happened, so I kept my schedule in US 1 month free. 16th of March, That night I was supposed to fly to United States. That is the day I was at India
Yeah.
Today. But then there were so many events continuously, I went through that. Then Mahashivratri, I was in pain means my right side was all paralyzed. I don't take painkillers because if you take painkiller, then you don't know what's happening with you. It just masks everything.
Right.
Then after that, I traveled to Chennai, then to Delhi, some event previous day, and then I tried to excuse myself out of your event from India Today. I said, I have some family emergency, I need to
Yes.
go. They said, no, Sadhguru, without you, how everybody's bought tickets because you're coming. Then I said, okay, I'll do it, but the doctor put his foot down and said, no way you're going to do this. And he came for the event. He was so scared. So at the end of 45 minutes, with Shiv, we were doing this, and by then we knew that my median has moved about 8.5 millimeters. He said 8.5 is dangerous, 12 is fatal. So as I was doing the interview, I was in excruciating pain, but then my left leg started acting little funny towards the last 10 minutes.
This was on stage?
On stage, my left leg was little going like that. Then I knew I've reached the limit. When the interview was not stopping, 45 minutes over, I see, so time is up, but he's still asking one more question, one more question. I know I'm on the edge. Then when I came out, I told the doctor, Doctor, I've crossed the limits, you do whatever you want. They took me straight, and the MRI showed I was 11.5 mm off the median.
Good.
So this is 0.5 mm from what is called fatal.
And that's what triggered this.
Then
You're
I
laughing
went in-
about it, Sadhguru.
Huh?
It's so serious, you're laughing about it. Do you not…
I'm not serious about my
Were you-
life.
You were not scared? You were not like, am I
No.
pushing it? What's going to be the repercussion of
I
this?
know I'm pushing it. I'm okay. This side, that side, I'm the same, so…
You have no fear of
No,
what could happen.
I know
What
what'll
if?
happen.
Yeah.
All these people will cry for 3 days and then get back to work.
Not at all. I really doubt that's going to happen.
They better get back to work. I won't allow more than 3 days of crying.
No, but very often, Sadhguru, and you know, when you were in hospital, there were videos of you, I mean, you had just got off surgery, you're cracking jokes.
I must tell you, before I went to surgery, so they're just about to start my anesthesia. All these nurses who are just in their 20s, many of them from across the country, they all been following me. And of course, they wanted to meet me, but they never caught me. Here I am lying down on the table on their terms. So about 8 of them, I think only 2 were needed for the actual work. 8 of them looking down and smiling at me. We got Sadhguru at last kind of smile. Then I said, when I come out of anesthesia, don't smile like this, because then I'll think I'm on the other side. So, they were laughing. What I'm saying is, see, people are taking their life too seriously, as if you are the thing. Before you and me came, countless number of people have come and gone.
But our lives surely matter.
Matter, yes. That's why we conduct it well, that's why we don't sleep off 8 hours a day. If it matters, you must stay awake, right?
Yeah, I
Then-
guess, yeah. So I've got 1% convinced, but 99% to go,
What do
Sadhguru,
you mean?
about the sleep.
No, what you're saying is, can I manage my body without that much sleep? Question you're asking is, can my car run for 30 days without maintenance? 3
Yeah.
days maintenance is okay. 10 days is a bit too much, isn't it?
It's a good point, yes. But, you know, all the time that you were in hospital, there was all of this talk, and there were a lot of people who were on social media who said, Sadhguru never, you know, propagated going to hospitals, was against doctors.
I never
And-
said that. These are all people who make up their own theories in their heads. Anybody who comes to me, I will also first seek medical attention, then you come here. Recovery from that surgery or whatever, we will help you and we can help you, definitely. These are people who are just wanting to say something. Their thing is eyeballs. They have no marbles in their head. They are saying something. Ask them to pull out one statement where I've said, don't go to the hospital. One sentence somewhere in this 40 years that I've spoken. No, there is no one sentence. But They manufacture this because they have such an agenda against anything that is of spiritual nature. Maybe somebody has said it, I don't know, maybe they have said it. I've never said it.
Yeah.
They're equating everything, painting with one brush.
I think that's also because many believe that, if you're someone who follows yoga, if you're someone who talks about Ayurveda or someone talks about natural healing, that means you're against allopathy.
See, because they are all aligned or, but to say, loyal to some system. I am not loyal to any damn system. My loyalty is for humanity and well-being. If you can be well by jumping off a mountain, be well that way. If you can be well meditating, be well that way. If you can be well by medicating, be well that way. I don't care how. Yogaratova, bogaratova. Either with discipline or with pleasure or with nonsense. If you can be really well, well does not mean just being in pleasure. Well means your life is full on. So when I talk to you about I'm sleeping extra 1.5 hours, 2 hours extra and I'm concerned, that means I'm not really well as I want to be. Because needing more maintenance.
Yeah. But what keeps you well, Sadhguru?
Life?
What about life?
How lit it is. Whether your life is lit or flickering. I've flickered for a couple of times, but I'm lit always.
You're happy, yes.
It's not just about being happy. See, happiness is not a goal, happiness is a consequence. If you keep yourself in such a certain way, happiness will be a consequence. Say like this, I'm looking at how my chemistry is. My chemistry, I always keep it in a blissful condition. People think I'm blissed out because of something, no. I'm blissed out because my chemistry is always… I'm managing it in a blissful way. So in this, how you breathe, how you sit, how you stand, how you sleep, everything is involved, all aspects of life involved in this.
So you have to be conscious of everything.
This is the privilege of being human, you can be conscious of everything.
But isn't it hard?
It's not hard. If you're trying to be mentally conscious, it's hard. Otherwise, how do you know you're alive right now?
It's a tough question, but I'm guessing I'm breathing.
It is not tough. No,
I can't imagine myself in any other way, let's put it that way.
When you're sleeping, which is you're saying your favorite time, do you know that you're alive?
Not really, no.
No, you don't know.
Yeah.
So only because you're conscious, you know that you're alive. So the basis of your life is consciousness. Question is how conscious, that's all. So do you want to be as conscious as a human being can be, or do you want to be at a lower level of consciousness? That's all the choices. So if you're fully conscious, if you need to meditate, you'll meditate, if you need to medicate, you'll medicate, if you need to do this, that, whatever, or somebody need to crack your skull, you get it cracked because it's needed at that moment. If I had that 1 month break I had kept was because I thought I'll go to United States and fix myself, I would have. It's just that it got little too late.
You pushed it.
I pushed it a bit too much because the dates were like that and there were commitments.
And you're someone, of course, who
If I had left 15 days early, I wouldn't have gone through the surgery, I would have fixed it.
But do you regret that?
No.
Because I'm sure everyone, we talk about fixing yourselves, prioritizing yourself. Did you not prioritize yourself?
I'm never the priority in my life, never been.
But is that a good thing, Sadhguru? Shouldn't one prioritize oneself?
Good or bad is according to your values. For me, my life is about what I'm doing, it's about the people who are involved. Because they are pitching their lives into whatever I have offered. My life is about that, not about me. If it's about me, I wouldn't be working like this, I would be doing something else for who I am, for what I am capable of. I could run a business, I could run an industry, I could run anything, I could run a nation if you want. I'm not bragging about it.
Are you considering it?
No. I've chosen this and this is it. This is not because of anything else, because I see many things you can do in the world. You can enhance the economy of the country or the world, which is very important for a whole lot of people still. You could do political things and transform social realities, very important thing. I don't think it's not important, but transforming individual human beings is the most important thing right now, Because as a generation of people, we've reached a point where we are more comfortable and have more conveniences than any generation ever had in the history of humanity. Please look back and see. Especially women, I'm telling you. Just 100 years ago, just see what was your status on the planet. Even if you were among very good, gentle, wonderful people, still just the biology of you just restricted you so much. It's only now because of technologies and various things that have happened, women can participate in the world like never before. So 50% of the population right there enhanced, all right? Another 50% also, if morning I want 2 buckets of water for my household, I have to go 1 mile to the stream, pick up these 2 buckets and come. Just ask how many young people here are capable of carrying 2 buckets of water 1 mile and come in the morning. They're not even fit anymore, all right? So, life has become so simple and easy in terms of survival. If you turn the tap, it'll come. If you flush the toilet, it'll go away. These are not small things. We've taken these things for granted. We've taken it for granted. Turn on the switch, light will come. Do you know how much you have to struggle to have light in your house wherever you go when there is no electricity? So, this level of convenience has never been. Now, the most important thing for this age is this, that individual human transformation. Life in the situation has changed, but life in our experience will not change because comforts and conveniences are fine to bring external convenience. External situations will change, our experience will not change. We are the most comfortable generation ever, but nobody in the history of humanity has ever cribbed the way we are cribbing. This is because there's no individual transformation. So my work is about that, individual transformation. Without individual transformation, there shall never be universal transformation because let's change the world. There is no world, there's just you and me.
We make up the world.
If you change, I change, world has changed. I change the world, it's just a word. I change the society, it's just a word, it's not a reality. The reality is there are individual human beings. But you can change the world by taking out a procession for 1 day, shout slogans for 2 days and done with it, all right? Individual transformation if you take up, your life is gone in that. That's where I am.
Individual transformation.
Yes.
So Sadhguru, you spoke of individual transformation. When would you consider an individual to be transformed? Am I transformed?
Say right now you're sleeping 8 hours a day. Suppose you need 6 hours a day. It's not that you cut down your sleep, that's not the way. Your body needs less sleep. Some transformation has happened, isn't it? Energetically, there's some transformation. The kind of load you're carrying in your head, there's some transformation. Otherwise, suddenly sleep quota won't go down.
But do you think it's mental or physical? I may go to the gym, I may be
See,
out all day shooting.
See, these things are all… this is a keyhole vision of life. You think there is something called mental, something called physical. This is… today if you go to the doctor, there are, I think sir, there are some 72 different types of doctors to examine your body. This this happened to me a few years ago. I had torn my ACL and cartilage in my knee. I was playing soccer and I just tore this. Then I'm packed up and lot of pain, but I'm sitting and doing an event in Atlanta. I couldn't fold my leg like this, so I was stretching my leg and speaking. Then after the thing is over, one guy raises his hands and says, "Sadhguru, I am a knee doctor, I would like to look at it." I said, "What, you mean an orthopedic?" He said, "No, I am a knee doctor." I said, "Which knee, right or left? First tell me." So I'm saying we are looking at this, see, expertise and specialization has some value, but only to a certain point. Now you want a full checkup, you need to go to 15 different doctors. By the time you get appointments, either you are well by yourself or you're dead. One of these things will happen, I'm saying. So there is a certain limit to these things. So you are thinking there is something called as mental, there is something called as physical, there is something called as emotional, energetic, no. So let me put it like this. For example, people are always talking about head and heart. This is a very popular thing in Delhi, I think. Dil se bolta hai, Dilli wale.
Dil se Dilli.
Okay. So, I'm asking you a simple question. Suppose I think you're a horrible person, will I have sweet emotions towards you? No, I'll have nasty emotions towards you. And I think you're a wonderful person, will I have nasty emotions towards you? No. So the way you think is the way you feel. Then where is head and heart, I'm asking? These are all cliches that you develop. Don't go by that, just observe yourself. Don't go by anybody's philosophy. Just observe this and see. If suddenly body needs 2 hours less sleep, something is transformed, isn't it, whatever that thing is? And you are a composite life. These separations are only for the sake of understanding and explanations. Don't take them as reality. See, like the same thing right now. Environment means Delhi people are only interested in air, they're not interested in the other things. So Yamuna is filth, all right? It's a gutter, literally. Place where Krishna played. All kinds of romance we have in our culture about Yamuna Tira, what all happened.
Yeah.
But go there and see, it's a gutter, literally.
Yeah, very true.
So, we are only concerned about air because whatever.
It's all over.
Yes, and now we are talking about all these things. Essentially, air means, is there any problem with purity of air here? So there is air pollution is just urban population's problem. Urban areas on the planet cover only 1.23% of the planet's space. But they are controlling the narrative, big time. The real problems of soil, water, humidity, these are genuine problems which is going to hit humanity in a massive way, not just humanity, every life, which is already hitting. In the last 50 years, 78% of the soil on the planet has lost 30% of humidity. This means probably zillions of organisms are dead, thousands of organism species have gone extinct, but we can't count and we don't care. We are worried about Delhi air, just move out of Delhi air, what's your problem?
But isn't that a result also of urbanization? Isn't that a result of…
No, it's very wrong.
Urban people not living right? Like air pollution, while it may not affect everyone here, it does not just affect Delhiites, but doesn't it also have like a ripple effect, polluting other elements?
I am not saying no, I am not saying air is not an important thing, it's very important, all right? I am just saying the narratives are controlled by urban people. All the other people who live across the planet are not important. See, right now, according to whatever data they are saying, 72% of the world's investment is in about 30 cities on the planet, all right? So, all people have converged like this in one place, you think is out of love? They're all living together, millions of people in one place?
It's need.
Not need, greed.
It's greed.
Yes. Otherwise, why are you all together?
But the world is defined this way, no, Sadhguru. If I chose to move out of Delhi, and I'd be happy to, but I have to work, I have to build my career, I have to make a name for myself.
Yes, you
That's
can.
how the world is.
You can build your office itself outside of Delhi. There's technology.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you must do this or that, I'm just saying the narrative is captured by the urban population. So they are talking one kind of language. Now, till we make energy production into a different mode, right now most of the energy is produced by burning coal or diesel, all right? That's a fact. Nuclear is there, but only a small percentage, I think 7–8%. All solar, wind, this, that, everything, maybe less than 5 to 6%.
Yeah.
That's where it is. So now you have an electric car, quietly it's charging in your house, but somewhere else something is burning, right? For this electricity to charge your thing.
Yeah.
And also, if you take, let's say, 1 kilogram of good coal, its calorific value what it is, or 1 liter of diesel, let's say, what it is, how many calories of energy it can produce, when you convert it into electricity, there is serious loss. And in transmission losses in the world are counted to be about 30 to 40% loss across the planet, just the transmission. So actually when you charge your electric car, you are doing much more pollution than anywhere, but it's happening to somebody else, not in Delhi, so you don't care.
So you're saying electric doesn't make a difference?
No, electric will make a huge difference when more electricity is produced by solar or wind or whatever, not by burning fossil fuels. Right now it doesn't. But it makes a difference for the city, it's fantastic for the city, you must do it. As a responsible Delhi citizen, you must do it. But do not believe it's ecologically helpful, it is not.
Okay. This is heartbreaking to me, Sadhguru. I have an electric vehicle.
No, no, it's good for Delhi city, I'm saying. You don't have to
So
breathe
keep it in Delhi.
Anyway, you can keep it, you can't drive to Coimbatore.
Yeah, that's true. I'll have to keep charging it for days together. But do you see yourself also as a doctor, Sadhguru, for people?
No.
A different kind of doctor, not an MBBS.
Let me tell you because this… you're asking me a question which is very sensitive for the family, but because both my mother and father are not there anymore, I can talk. My father being a physician, it is… in our generation, if you don't become a doctor, you're no good. So, especially in a physician family, it's 100%. So I am the last of the four siblings and three disappointed them. So they thought I am the guy. It's destiny that I must become doctor. So they're working on me. I am decided that I'm not going to be a doctor. Not because I have any problem with that, but that's not what I want to be.
It's not your calling.
What do you want to be? I don't know. I'm just looking at life. I'm not deciding what I should do. So when the time comes to make those decisions, they say, you become doctor, because my father being a central government employee, he's got a seat in a military college and in Pune, they got admission for me, please go, please go. I said, no, I'm not going to be a doctor. Then they say, okay, then you join this engineering college. I said, see, you don't know what you're talking about. If I say no doctor, if you tell me become a veterinary doctor, become an Ayurvedic doctor, become a Siddha doctor, become a Unani doctor, at least become a witch doctor. No, you say engineer. So you don't know what you're talking about, don't tell me what I have to do. So I must tell you this, a few years ago this happened. I was in Detroit and I was talking to a group of people that, we have a yogic hospital here. This is almost 20 years ago. So about 12 doctors from the Michigan area, they all came here to the yoga center. On day 3, I have not seen them, they've been here, and on day 3, somebody comes and tells me, Sadhguru, they're all very angry, they want to leave. I said, what happened? You don't know, it's best you see them. Then I come to see them. Then I asked, what is the problem? They were all looking sick like this. When somebody is angry, I think they are sick. Or they're working towards it. There's enough proof, there's enough scientific proof. If every day if you practice misery, anger, frustration, jealousy, you will become sick, there is enough proof about that, all right? Chemically you're getting poisoned. So they were all working towards sickness or sick already. I said, what happened? They said, you told us there is a yogic hospital, there is no hospital anywhere in the premises. I said, oh, this is a problem. There were over 60 patients at that time with us. I make good use of the patients. Your idea of a hospital is a nice clean bed and this thing and pretty nurses walking all around. Everybody wants to be sick.
You want to lie in bed.
Yeah. So I said, see, I put these sick people to good work. We give them some practices, we give them some medication, which is Ayurvedic and Siddha, largely Siddha medicine, and I put them to work because one of the best things that they can do is connect with the earth. I put them to work in the garden, bare feet, open hands, no gloves, nothing, they work. Americans working in the ground without gloves is considered something else because it's dirt, it's not soil. Whereas it's mother soil, Thai mannu, all right? But there it's dirt, they don't want to touch the dirt. So I put them because your body is just the same soil that you're walking upon. If you lose connection with that, you will become sick one way or the other. So I said, I can take you around and show you different patients with different ailments, chronic ailments of variety of kinds, they're all here. Over 60 of them are there, and then I asked somebody to take them on a tour and meet all the patients, and that worked out. But I'm saying their idea of sickness and treatment is like that, because they want to make an industry out of it. I want to make an industry out of well-being. Like, let me say something very controversial, which of course I'll get the trolls, but it's fine. Because more trolls you get means it means that you're doing the right thing. Because vested interests are trolling you,
Yeah.
that means you're doing well. So, this is like this. Somebody came here, like he was in his late 70s. He was here for 2 weeks or little more than that, and then he wanted to see me. I said, okay, and then he said he was with Anandamayi to start with. Then he was with J. Krishnamurti for a long time. Then he spent time with U.G. Krishnamurti. You heard all these names or no?
Yeah, I've heard of Anandamayi.
Not U.G. Krishnamurti,
No.
J. Krishnamurti you've not
No.
heard? J.K. you've not heard of J.K.?
No, JK no.
Oh my God, okay. You're one of the very famous philosophers of the time. He spent time with J.K., U.G. Krishnamurti from Bangalore, he was also reasonably popular. And then he spent a lot of time with Rajneesh. And now he's come here. And he also spent time with some Western teachers, spiritual teachers. And I said, okay, I met him. They said, see, I've been with all these people, all of them have contributed something to my life. I value all of them. But you are the only one who has a spiritual factory here. What do you mean? Said, I see every day people come in, a busload of people come in, they go through some 2-3 days of process, when they're leaving, they're all jumping and exuberant like this. It's like a factory. I thought this is a good idea and I told our people, I think we should change the name, Isha Spiritual Factory. No Sadhguru, no Sadhguru. Because a factory means what? A process is set and the result is consistent. It's not a negative word. What does factory mean? That means the result is consistent.
Yeah.
You can do something handmade, one turns out great, another we don't know what, all right?
Is this with standard?
Consistent result.
Yeah.
This is what Isha is, consistent result, whoever comes, doesn't matter, consistent result. You want health, we have consistent results. You want spiritual process, consistent result. Whatever you want, consistency, because the process is so well established. Establishing the process so well means I have to kill lots of people around me. When I say kill, I have to torture them, I mean.
When you mean torture, you mean…
Real torture.
Okay.
Because to straighten out people's mind, how to… see now, how to put the carpet. You know how much I've worked on this?
On carpets?
Yes, how to lay it down. Otherwise, people will lay it in different ways. How to lay the name tag, how to keep the footwear like this, from such innocuous things to all other aspects of the program, it's like that, military precision. Because we want the result to be consistent. To produce hundreds of enlightened beings who'll handle it in their own way is not practical. It would be fantastic if we can do that. But this is practical because the results are there for people.
So you have an OCD then, Sadhguru, of perfection, of getting everything just right.
If you don't get it right, it won't work. See, the simple thing is this, if you're doing something, whether you're doing it right or not, is visible only in the result, isn't it? No, I'm doing it right, but because stars were not right, it's not happening. Yesterday somebody is trying to explain to me, that guy won't like it, I'm speaking on the interview like this. He's saying, why is the paint like this? Why is it shining like this? This was supposed to be matte. This is Sadhguru, no, the sun is coming up. Oh, sun is coming in the wrong direction, I will change it tomorrow for you. So people have… see, you don't know when you closely observe people, how much nonsense people have in their head. He thinks something wrong with the way the sun is coming up, that's why the paint is shining, all right? So like this people have, my life is not working because my husband is like this, my wife is like this, my teacher was like that, my father abused me when I was 4 years of age. No end.
But you're saying that has no impact.
No.
Everyone talks of trauma, of past incidents all affecting their life even now.
This is because you don't want to see you're a bloody fool who can't make it work. If you have lots of experiences, pleasant, unpleasant, horrific experiences you had in your life, you should be wiser than me, isn't it? No, you make a fool of yourself and you say, I had very profound experiences.
You're saying use the experiences, right?
See, experiences are just impressions and memories within you, isn't it? How you make use of it is always left to you. Will you use it for your well-being or will you use it to trouble yourself? If you're using your own memory bank and your intelligence to torture yourself, are you smart or are you stupid? Make up your mind on this. Doesn't matter what is yesterday's experience. How are you crafting your today? This is in your hands.
Yeah.
This is what being human means. See, out of this many spiritual teachings have come up. Don't think about yesterday, don't think about tomorrow, be in the moment.
Now, yeah.
I am asking you, please be somewhere else and show me for a moment. Can you be somewhere else?
No.
No. You can think about yesterday, you can think about tomorrow, you can think about 10 years ago, you can think about 10 years later. Essentially, you are misunderstanding your psychological process as a reality. Once you think your psychological process is a reality, you have crossed the line. You are mentally gone. But because 90% of the population is with you, you think it's normal. It's like this. This is not against any profession, please. See, if you build a castle in the air, I deeply appreciate it because you're using your imagination to build something which is not there, fantastic. But if you start thinking it's real, then you're neurotic. But one day you started living there, then you're psychotic. Then somebody else will collect rent for that castle, that's psychiatry.
That's a great definition, but I like that you added a disclaimer right in the beginning.
Disclaimer, I'm just a joke, okay?
So Sadhguru, I'm making the most of this interview to get a tour of the beautiful center also. I see so many people all around, waving to you, showing namaskaram on the sides. But when we've had this conversation, of course, the answer basically to my question is that you're a doctor and an engineer to me. For people, essentially. But on the issue of spirituality, Sadhguru, how would you define spirituality? Is it standalone from religion completely?
So you must understand, in this civilization, there is no religion.
Then what is Hinduism, Christianity, Islam?
No, let's come to this. You're talking about things that we imported from outside. See, religion means, the moment you say, I'm religious, we will refer to you as a believer, correct? But the moment you say, I am spiritual, we refer to you as a seeker. What does seeking mean?
To me, it would be perhaps to look within.
Whichever way, whether you're seeking outside or inside, seeking essentially means you do not know, so you're seeking.
Yeah.
So you acknowledged your ignorance. Belief means whatever you do not know, you believe. That means you are covering your ignorance with something. That something might have come from some god that you believe in, maybe they're messengers, or maybe a book, maybe your father and mother, or maybe your neighbor, or maybe social media. We don't know where you got the stuff from. But you're trying to you're trying to build a bridge over a chasm that you don't know how to cross, an imaginary bridge. Because for you to believe something, you can't believe something all by yourself. If you believe, you need to have another 100 people who believe the same thing, otherwise you'll feel like a fool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
You need people. This is why believers are always in a flock. Seekers are always alone. Because seeking happens best when we are alone. It doesn't happen as a group. So seeking and spiritual process is an individual process of transformation. Belief and religious process is a mass application of something which may give some sociological and psychological benefits for sure, but it doesn't give you a solution, it gives you solace.
Can you be both though?
Now let's come to this. First of all, you make up your mind, you want solace or you want a solution to this life?
Solution.
If you want a solution…
Because it brings you to that essentially, doesn't it?
See, solace means, I will tell you, Akshita, everything is fine, don't worry, you will be fine, I'm with you. And you feel great. But you went there and the tiger came. Suddenly you forgot what I said. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So solace is like this, it helps you to sleep well, but when you're awake it doesn't work. Solution means it's a hard path. You want to look at everything, you want to know everything by yourself. This is what this culture is about. Krishna said something, we revere him as a great human being or a great lord or whatever you want to call him. But you have to find your own truth. We admire and appreciate many people, but their truth is not my truth because till I experience it, it's not true for me. I will tell you something which you may like, which you may agree with, but still it doesn't work for you till it is reality for you. We've been talking about the sleeping hours.
Yeah.
For almost 26, 27 years, I slept only 2.5 hours a day on an average. That means many nights I did not sleep at all. Next day I made up a little bit like this. Later, slowly as I aged, it became… not aged, more I became a bit lazy. So I started sleeping 3.5 hours. Now because after the surgery I'm sleeping 4.5 plus sometimes. Now I can tell you whatever, 2.5 hours sleep is good for you, it's enough. But if you sleep for 2.5 hours and get up, you'll be freaked.
Yeah.
So I can tell you whatever, till it becomes a reality in your experience, it's not true, isn't it? You may trust me and try to work towards it, but your trust doesn't translate into reality.
Yeah.
Only when it becomes true in your experience. So this is the nature of a seeker. He has to experience it because only your experience transforms you. My experience may inspire you, but it will not transform you. But religious process is not like that. Something happened somewhere and all of you believe it and everybody is supposed to be transformed. That is why it is a very… psychologically it gives you confidence, but it will never give you clarity. But confidence without clarity, as I said, I'll repeat this because most people don't get it, confidence without clarity in human life is the greatest disaster. People can do ugly things, terrible things to each other because they're confident without clarity.
On, for you also, Sadhguru, there's… everyone assumes that you're also someone who's a practitioner of Hinduism. Are you?
See,
you speak of Sanatan Dharma,
See.
you speak of the gods.
No.
Are you a Hindu, a practicing Hindu?
See, this practicing Hindu word or this term has come from practicing Christian, practicing Muslim. There is no such thing. Tell me what is the practice to be a Hindu?
To pray to the gods, I
No.
guess?
You can meditate and be a Hindu? No?
But why can't you meditate and be a Christian?
See, now you're talking a different thing. Meditation till recently they denied and they said it's devil's work, all right? Now they're accepting it because all the scientific studies are showing this is very good, now they're saying meditation, leave that. Go to the core belief. Is there something that you can define as Hindu practice?
I don't know, doing a puja.
You can worship a cow,
Yeah,
be a Hindu.
yeah,
Worship a snake, be a Hindu. Worship Shiva and be a Hindu.
yeah.
Worship Vishnu and be a Hindu. Worship Hanuman and be a Hindu. Worship Devi and be a Hindu. Worship a bamboo and be a Hindu. So, which practice is Hindu, I'm asking? I want you to know there is no such practice. What you call as Hindu today, don't ever use the word Hinduism. This is a British coined word, not ours. Hindu means it's a geographical identity. From Himalayas to Indus Sagara, this land that stretches here is Hindu. Why this land got identified with a certain civilization is because the civilization thrived here. Why did it thrive here? Because people had no means to come by ships and attack us in those days, nor could they cross Himalayas and attack us. So this was a land which remained in peace and development and evolution of human beings for over 6,000 years, undisturbed development of human civilizations. This is why we built cities like Mohenjo-daro, this is why so many things happened. There's still many unexcavated sites in the country which are 8,000–12,000 years old, very evolved cities, all right? Dwaraka, other things are going on right now. Many of these cities lie between India and Pakistan border, so you can, if you dig means they can't dig, we can't dig, all right? That's the situation. So there is no Hinduism. Hindu, anybody who's born in this land is a Hindu. It's like if an elephant is born in Africa, you say an African elephant, isn't it?
So you're saying it's not Indian, it's Hindu?
Yes, you call it Hindustan till recently, right? Even now when you speak in Hindi, most of the time you're calling it Hindustan. Almost everybody.
Yeah.
At least in the neighboring countries, they're always referring to us as Hindustan, because everywhere it was known as Hindustan. Even today if you go to Lebanon and Syria, there are thousands of women whose names are Hind in that culture, because Hindustan was all over the place. So they called them Hind with great pride. The land of prosperity and wisdom was Hind. Even now you're standing up and saying Jai Hind, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's not mix these things up. There is no Hinduism, Hindu land. Anything that's here is Hindu. It's not a religious identity, it's a geographical identity. Then there is something called as Sanatan. The word Sanatan literally means unlimited or, forever. What is forever, tell me, in this world? You are forever?
No.
I am forever? No. What is forever?
Maybe ideas?
Oh, your ideas? People
Not
who had
mine,
ideas…
not so much mine, no.
Anybody's ideas. 1,000-year-old ideas are all rejected today. All parents' ideas are rejected by the children. Yes or no? Ideas are just made up in our heads. What is forever? So there are certain basic laws which govern our existence, which are for always. So in this culture, we divided Shrutis and Smritis. Shruti is a tune set by the existence. If you understand the tune, Smriti is by memory. Now your parents taught you a language, your parents taught you how to dress, a culture, a certain way to be, certain way to eat, many things. The color of our life is our culture, all right? This is Smriti, this is only by memory. If I remove your memory, then you don't know how to dress, you don't know how to eat. You don't know, all right? You don't know who your parents are, who your children are, you don't know nothing. Because that's all memory, that's Smriti. So this is the only civilization which divided this in such wisdom. There are Shrutis which are eternal laws, and there are Smritis which generation to generation we make up according to the situations in which we exist. Whatever our parents taught us, we don't do the same thing. We adjust it to the realities of today. And that adjustment, if it becomes concretized, the next generation, your children will feel you are an ancient creature, all right? So why you look in the ashram, just see, most of them are young people.
Yeah.
Normally, spiritual centers are supposed to be full of old people. Just see, everybody is young people.
Yeah.
Why? Because I am not from Smriti, I am from Shruti. I am in tune. So, young or old, they feel completely in tune with what is being done here.
Oh.
So, this, what is in tune with everything in the existence is Sanatan, that's always going to be there. Whether you are there or I am there or nobody is here, no human being here, Sanatan is here.
So it's… if…
Let me say this.
Sure.
So, in trying to codify that, to put it down to paper, to put it down to people's understanding, certain things are done. Truth cannot be digested by most people as it is. Most people can't take a pill unless it's sugar-coated, isn't it? Even though it may save your life, you cannot take it. So, when it's expressed, you need to express in poetry, language, quote it like this, like that, without deviating from the basic truth, but little quoting. So this effort went on in this civilization, how to deliver truth to people, the different kinds of people. You're a young woman, if I say it one way, you will like it. If I say it another way, you won't like it. Even if it's the truth. Yes or no?
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
So for you, we have to say it one way. So we said, the Devi is there, please go to the Devi temple, fantastic things, just go and see. So that guy comes, he thinks, I'm a man. Then I say, go sit in Adiyogi. It's like this, look at the man, he is the man, all right? Like this we quoted it for different people, but never deviated from the fundamental. So that civilization became Sanatan. Dharma means not a religion. Please change this in your narrative in the media. Dharma is not a religion, dharma means a law.
Yeah.
The laws of nature, we observed it and said, these are the Sanatan dharmas. These are the smritis which we can change generation to generation. Basic fundamental rights in the constitution and amendments that we make as time passes. This is the only civilization which looked at life this way. Now we always compare everything with something else which is purely based on belief. See, if you don't believe a few fairy tales that somebody tells you, that if you die, you will go to heaven and God is waiting for you, your relatives are waiting for you.
That's not true.
There is a party waiting for you.
That's not true, Sadhguru.
If that is true, why are you here? You should be gone.
I still have loved ones here, no. But if the
But
idea and the fear of death is why.
More people are waiting there.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be a better place than this. What are you doing here? Delhi pollution, why are you here? Why don't you go to heaven? You are just playing with your own life in a very bad way. Things that you don't know, you are assuming. See, I have said this many times, let me repeat this. Heaven is the worst crime that we have committed upon humanity, the idea of heaven. Because if I tell you there is heaven, real life is there, this doesn't matter. How you are now doesn't matter. Real life is there with God, you will live there happily ever after. I'm just downgrading the possibility of your life here. You will not strive here to make this a wonderful possibility, isn't it?
But the whole idea of what we're taught about heaven growing up, or hell for that matter, is you reap what you sow. What you do here will decide whether you're in heaven or hell.
That'll happen here itself.
That I agree.
That'll happen right here. Do one stupid thing and see, it'll slap you back right now.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
100%.
Then you don't have to go to heaven. See, this is all people, Bharatiyas, trying to adjust to Western philosophies. Here we told you, your life is your karma. What it means is that everything that you do, everything that you are right now, how you experience this life is 100% you are making. Situations may not be 100% you are making because other people's karmas are also there. It's a combined collective karma, all right? But how you're experiencing your life right now, are you joyful, miserable, are you pleasant, unpleasant, is entirely your karma. Right here. So if you know your misery is caused by you, would you cause it?
No.
But you think, I'm causing misery to you, so it will continue forever, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll cut you off.
Arey, you may not be able to cut me off, I may be your boss. Or maybe somebody else that you can't cut off. Not always can you cut off anybody, it's not…
Correct.
On social media you can cut off.
Block and unfollow.
But in life you can't cut off everything, you'll have to cut off everything because nobody on the planet happens exactly the way you want them, not one person.
Yeah, of course.
Never. Not even one person happens your way. So now is it not very important, this one person happens your way? If this one has to happen your way, you must see your experiences, your well-being, your peace, your joy, your blissfulness, your ecstasy, your misery, your agony and your everything is caused by you, because human experience is caused from within. Are you a conscious response to the life that's happening around you? Are you compulsive reaction to what's happening around? The moment I tell you, the moment you grasp, this is my karma, you become a conscious response, isn't it? I will abuse you right now. How you respond to it is left to you. If you react to it, it'll make you miserable. If you… suppose I abuse you in a language that you don't understand.
It won't matter.
Yes, even now it doesn't matter, it's just the way you react, isn't it? A word is not causing harm. If I try to stab you, that's a different matter. But if I throw words at you, words don't hurt, it's the way you react which causes so much turmoil. So essentially when we said it's your karma, we took away reaction from your life and you're a conscious response to life, and that's all you can do with life. That is all. There is nothing more you can do with life.
So I can control to that extent what I can do
It's
in
not
my
control.
life.
Being conscious is not control. Tell me, if I abuse you, you don't suffer, is that freedom or control?
Yeah, it's freedom.
It's freedom.
Yeah.
You become free, not controlled. If every word that I say is going to cause pain to you and hurt to you and you're going to become miserable, this is control, I have control, isn't it?
So you're essentially saying I should have the freedom to live by letting go.
No, I'm saying the principles of Sanatan are towards freedom, because the whole civilization is only oriented towards liberation,
Why
not
is it
towards
though
heaven.
connected to one religion?
It's not one religion.
Can a Muslim be someone who's practicing Sanatan Dharma?
See, you are asking a political question, you're not asking a genuine question. You're asking a headline question, all right?
No, I'm genuinely curious.
Are you still called headline today? No.
No, we call
You're
it India today. So, this is a question from India then.
So let's talk about India today,
Yeah.
all right? If it's India today, not headline today, let's look at this. When you say Sanatan, I already explained, it means we observed fundamental laws in nature.
Yeah.
And what rules our life? To be in tune with that, because if you're not in tune with any law, even physical laws, there is a law of gravity. If you're not in tune with it, you'll fall on your face. Yes or no?
Of course.
So, this whole thing is about being in tune with fundamental laws which govern our life. We'll just handle that one aspect, because otherwise it'll get too complex. We said karma. They said God will either choose you to go to heaven or hell. Hell means you will burn, not only for 2 days or 3 days, you will burn forever.
Yeah.
That's a very cruel thing to do to anybody, no matter what they have done. Hello? You branded them, you burned their little finger. I'm not saying it's okay, but maybe for God it's okay. But He wants to burn you forever. So you're not even made of carbon, I'm saying. Forever if you're burning, that's very cruel for anybody to do, it doesn't matter who the hell they are, all right? So when we said your life is your karma, we are telling you your life is your making.
Yeah.
Because your life is not in the clothes that you wear, in the work that you do, among the people that you live. Your life is in the way you're experiencing it right now. Yes or no? Doesn't matter, you're in Timbuktu or in Delhi. You're joyful, you're joyful.
Yeah.
If you're joyful in Timbuktu, you'll say, my life is great. If you are miserable in Delhi, you will say, it's miserable. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So, your life or the quality of life, let's be clear about this. The quality of life is not determined by what you have, but how you experience it. So just because we have more things in 21st century, that doesn't mean we are bursting with joy. No, it's not true.
You're looking for more.
Don't go there. I'm saying the fundamental thing is, we may be more comfortable. When you are more comfortable, there is better opportunity for you to be joyful. But this doesn't mean you're joyful. It's more conducive.
Yeah.
Survival is taken care of, food is there for us. See, in southern India, if you go here into the local village, they won't ask you, Akshita, how are you?
Saptingla.
Saptingla.
Correct.
Have you eaten?
Yeah.
Because if you've eaten, what other problem do you have? I have not eaten, this is the problem. I have eaten, and if I have a problem, it's entirely my making. See, this comes from a very profound understanding that this is my karma. Right now I'm miserable, this is my karma. Right now I'm blissed out, this is my karma. If you really imbibe this, you become a conscious process of life. Otherwise, you will be a wild reaction, compulsive reaction. Does this settle you in 1,000 different ways? But I will tell you, live whichever way you want. One day, because every day you are praying for whatever number of days, times in a day, you are going to go to heaven.
That's what you told as a kid. Many of us are, at least.
Who told you? Nobody told you such things in this country.
You hear it all the time.
No, unless you went to certain type of schools, nobody told you this in your homes.
You pray, you go to heaven. You are a good girl, you go to heaven.
That is all because you studied in certain types of schools which were run by them. Otherwise, nobody told you. Can I tell you a joke? Is a joke allowed on a TV channel like this? No.
No?
Huh? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So Sunday school teacher is going full fire. Audience not like this, tiny tots. Catch them young policy, like they caught you young. So, in the middle of this talk, fiery talk, for effect, the teacher stops and asks, "What do you have to do to go to heaven?" Little Mary, who's in the front row always, she stands up and says, "If I scrub the church floor every Sunday morning, I will go to heaven." Absolutely. Another little girl says, "If I share my pocket money with my less fortunate friend, I will go to heaven." Correct. Another little boy says, "If I help my friend who is in difficulty, I'll go to heaven." Correct. Little Tommy in the back bench stands up and says, "You got to die first." That's a qualification. Hello? First qualification for you to go to heaven is you must die first, all right? What's in heaven? Hindu heaven, food is supposed to be very good. In another heaven, white-gowned ladies are floating around in the clouds. If you like that kind of ambience, you go there. In another heaven, you will encounter virgin problems, you like that, you go there. But whichever heaven you go, the nature of the laws here on the planet is such, you have to leave this body here and go. So you went to heaven, they gave you good food. What do you do without a body, huh? What do you do with good food, virgins and other nonsense when you don't have a body? Nobody asks this question. I'm telling you all your beliefs, whatever you believe in, if I ask three questions, they will all collapse. Doesn't matter from which scripture it has come, they cannot withstand three questions. That is why if you ask a questioner, the policy has always been kill the questioner. That's one way of handling the question. That is not the nature of Sanatan. You can ask 1,000 questions if you want. Just look at the people in the past, look at the plight of being divine entities in this country. Shiva opens his mouth, his wife asks, freaks him with 1,000 questions. Krishna, after many years, chooses his closest disciple and tries to speak in the battlefield, that too. There he asks hundreds of questions. Our scriptures are full of questions, not commandments. Because this is a land of seeking. Now you are trying to make it into a land of belief in competition with somebody else. No, the world needs a land of seeking. The tomorrow's world is of a world of seeking. Sanatan is not of the past, it will be of the future. You don't have to call it by that name if you don't want it. You can call it whatever you want, but Sanatan is a fantastic name, it means the eternal laws. Sanatana Dharma means the eternal laws. The future generations will not buy your fairy tales. The future generations don't want to go to heaven. If you say, "No, God is there, you must go there," they'll ask, "Is there free Wi-Fi or not?" Hello? Future generations want to know what works, what doesn't work. They don't want fairy tales. You've run the world like this for too long. The future of the world is Sanatan, not Hindu. Hindu is of this land. Sanatan is universal. Universality of existence is the future of this world. Do you agree or no?
Of course.
It is absolutely. Your fairy tale, my fairy tale, it will not fly. It might have… as a child, it might have played with you a little bit, you might have liked going to heaven, but now you don't want to go to heaven, isn't it?
Now I want to live,
Yes.
Might as well be in heaven while living. But then, okay, so then what happens once one dies?
Now you're seeking.
Sadhguru.
Now you're seeking, you want to know. I'm asking you, Is it true that you gathered this body over a period of time?
Yeah,
Is it also true the content of your mind also you picked up over a period of time?
of course.
But right now, what you think is me is just these two things, isn't it? Physiological process and psychological process. Do you know anything other than that?
No.
If you have to gather these two processes to this extent that you have gathered, there must be something more fundamental. So when you are living here, if you don't know what is the nature of your existence, how the hell will you know what happens after death? Now is the time to know. Beyond this body, beyond this mind, what am I? If you know this now, this is called spiritual process. It's a very contaminated word right now because everybody's used it in so many ways. Spiritual means something beyond your physicality. There is something beyond this physicality because physicality is just a piece of the earth that you gathered. If that doesn't come into your experience now, how to teach you after death?
But
Now is the time, you must stay back.
yeah. But if we speak of death and in today's times, do you think the emotion or how death is perceived is very different from how it was?
They can perceive whichever way they want, they'll die. I wrote a book called Death,
Of
you
course,
know this?
yeah.
Death, this is a book only for those who die.
That's everyone.
Oh, I'm glad you get it. We have crematoriums, we have about 15, 16 18 crematoriums in Tamil Nadu. We are the best run crematoriums. Why is it important? It's very important that when you die, how those things are conducted. One thing is dignity.
Yeah.
Another thing is there are processes that you can do after you have exited the body, that these things are done properly. This culture is deeply invested in that we handle from conception, preconception actually. Preconception, how a woman should be, after conception, what she should be doing, how she should deliver the baby, at every stage what should be done, death, how it should be handled, beyond death, up to a certain time, what can we do? There's a whole science in Sanatan Dharma. These are all things we've observed from life, how life behaves and how we can influence it in a positive way. So, this started and the first one was started in Coimbatore. So I called it Kayanta Sthanam. Kayanta Sthanam means a place where the body ends. Kayanta. Kaya ends. So our boys came and asked, Sadhguru, this is fine, but we need an English byline, people won't understand. Then I say, I'm in those modes. I said, byline is, everybody is a customer. No, Sadhguru, it's too much up in the face. No, we can't do that. Then I said, okay, you write, we shall wait. You'll anyway come one day.
Yeah.
We will wait, we are not in a hurry, but we know you will come. So there are some things which are very obvious. If you can't even handle those things, then what? Most inevitable.
Most people can't.
No,
The thought of death is daunting, it's terrifying.
No. That means you cannot live.
And it's not even about you. I think you're most worried about how people around you will react, how your loved ones will
Come
cope.
on, that is all excuses.
It's excuses.
Yes.
Don't you think?
No, you
that-
think if you are gone, the world will come to an end?
No.
Believe me,
But
everybody will live well.
Your loved ones will suffer.
They will cherish you and live well, don't worry.
They'll cherish you more.
Yes, of course. Every time they think of you, tears of love will come in their eyes. Right now it doesn't come. They see, Akshita, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
So you cherish someone more after they go. Okay,
Not
so
necessarily. I'm not saying it should be true for everybody. I'm saying many people like you and me, countless number of people like you and me have come and gone. Without them, we are doing fine, aren't we?
Yeah.
What makes you think you or me are so important that without us the world cannot do? There is no such thing. We have our contributions to make, but that does not mean the world will end without us. We will do our best to live a full length of life and go. But suppose we go tomorrow, what about it?
where do we go?
See, now you're seeking. So you must get into your seeking mode. If you want to get into your seeking mode, the first step is that you drop, because you want to go to Matumane, I'll use this term, I don't mean this. If you want, you can silence it and put this thing on me. So you must stop your bull. When I say stop your bull, everything that you do not know, you must see as I do not know. Everything that you do not know, you should not believe because somebody told you. Somebody told you means what? Maybe your parents told you, maybe a priest told you, maybe a book told you, maybe God himself spoke to you, I don't know who spoke to you. But you are valuing it because it's an authority, isn't it? This is the essence of Sanatan Dharma. We have no value for authority. Truth is our only authority. Authority is never truth for us. This is the nature of Sanatan. This is why everybody is a seeker. You are just in Mahakumbh, just see how many types of seekers. Are there one kind? Can you say all of these people belong to one religion?
No.
Each guy is something else, isn't
Very
it?
true. Yeah.
So, because there is no definition, do whatever you want. The important thing is, you start moving towards liberation. Why is this important? If you sit here, you can believe fanciful things about yourself. Right now, let's say a tiger came. I was just talking, Samyama is going on, over 3,000 people sitting. First day I am telling them, no matter what happens, once you sit, close your eyes and sit for meditation, you are not going to get up. No matter what happens, till I tell you, you can open your eyes. But Sadhguru, we saw a small snake. You saw a small snake or a big one, it doesn't matter. Let's say a tiger came in. You don't have to open your eyes. What will the tiger do? Tiger eats once in 12 to 14 days. So maybe today is not his eating day, for all you know.
Maybe it is.
If it is, it'll only take one person. It's not going to take 3,000 people. All right? All of you need not open your eyes. The first person who is at the door, maybe that person will go, we will see how to handle that. It's not your business, you close your eyes, you close your eyes. This is the problem, you think you're so important, you can't close your eyes for 2 minutes, all right? Here they're sitting 12 to 14 hours a day, eyes closed for 8 days non-stop, okay? To close your eyes and sit, first thing you should see, I'm not so important here. And you don't assume things. First thing is, if you drop all your belief systems, I do not know. Is it a fact you don't know a damn thing about this life?
Yeah.
When you're asking me, where will I go? Obviously you don't know where you came from. You don't know where you came from, you don't know where you will go, you don't know where you are right now.
I don't know where I'll be tomorrow.
No, not like that. You don't know where you are right now existentially.
Yeah.
You're in a small mud ball called planet Earth, it's spinning at a tremendous speed, the whole solar system could be moving, the whole universe could be moving, it is.
Correct.
In this vast cosmos, you don't know where you are. Do you have a geolocation? You may have a geolocation, you don't have a cosmic location, isn't it? So you don't know where you are, you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you will go. You don't know nothing. If you see I don't know nothing, suddenly your intelligence will become alert. Like right now, it is light. If I ask you, Akshita, walk this way, you will walk this way. Walk that way, you will walk that way. But we'll make this place pitch dark. Then I say walk, you will become super alert, isn't it? That's a way to be, your entire life. This is the nature of the seeker. You understand? Every moment, awake or asleep, you're super alert.
But isn't that hard?
It's not hard.
It doesn't come naturally to people.
No, light is on. Is it hard? It is not hard, it's on.
It takes energy.
Of course it takes energy. This is why the sadhana is for generating energy, for you to be on. Lights are on because there is energy. It's a good thing you arrived at. It takes energy. Right now, as you're sitting here in a restful pose, 20% of your energy, I'm talking, you're just listening, but over 20% of your energy that you have in your system is consumed by your brains, which hardly weighs 1 kilogram or a little more than that maybe. I'll give you a little more, okay?
Thank you.
For this body, which may be 50 kilograms, 1 kilogram is consuming 20% or more of energy. Even if you're not thinking, even if you're not doing something serious, just restful. So, to be lit, it takes a lot of energy. This is why sadhana. Because we want to generate much more energy, not just enough for survival, but to be bright and shining.
So how long does it take to actually achieve it, to get to that position?
See,
Is it individual?
no, it's a question of voltage. You can slowly increase your voltage. Everybody who's here is all fully lit up, enlightened? No. But are they better than what they were 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? 100%, otherwise they wouldn't be here. Because I make sure their life is hard on a daily basis. Just in case if they're not lighting up, they will go.
So the way to do it is challenge yourself.
No. See, these are all cliched things in the world they're saying. Yes, with a challenge you may come awake a little bit, but tomorrow you'll be exhausted.
Yeah.
If you generate substantial energy, instead of being a coal-burning furnace, if you're nuclear, quietly you're producing a lot of energy, isn't it? Then your sleep quota will go down. Your food quota will go down, because with the same substance you're generating much more energy. With one atom you can do so much, but if you would burn a ton of coal, you may not do that much, isn't it? So it's a question of raising life to a higher pitch of performance. Performance not in terms of activity, performance as life. Simply, everything comes to you a better thing. You just check the pulse rate of people who are practicing and see, they're all below 50. So, there is no such thing as stress in the body or in the mind. When there is no stress, naturally the sleep quota will come down, maintenance will come down, visit to your doctors will come down or disappear. These are all things which are giving you little by little freedom. This all small installments of mukti. Today I can sit here joyfully without food. Is it a little bit of freedom?
Yeah,
It is, right? I can sit here without sleeping. Freedom?
of course.
I am using these two things because food and sleep are the most compulsive aspects of your life.
It's what drives you.
Without that, you're gone.
Yeah.
You'll break up. So if I can sit here without food and sleep, there must be some level of freedom, isn't it? So this is how people recognized Adiyogi. When Adiyogi first came in the upper regions of Himalayas, thousands of people gathered thinking there is going to be some miracle, because he looked like an extraordinary being. He did nothing, he simply sat. Slowly everybody melted away. Only 7 guys stayed on because these 7 disciples noticed that he is beyond physicality. Because he didn't get up to eat, drink, toilet, this, that, whatever the normal things of the body.
Yeah.
None of those things are ruling him. They said, we want this. This is liberation. When you're here, if you're free from the physiological and psychological process, do you know what all you can do with your life? Limitless possibilities, isn't it? So are they all there in their ultimate pitch? No. But are they few notches up? 100%, otherwise they wouldn't be here. You just ask them to… if I ask you to wake up every day at 5 o'clock, you'll run away from here, isn't it? Yes, everybody's up at 5 o'clock and they have only 2 meals a day, many of them are only 1 meal a day. They won't be here if… unless something is working, isn't it? And I'm not promising a ticket to heaven, I'm making fun of their heavenly journey.
You're
and
promising heaven in life.
Huh?
You're promising heaven in life.
No, not in life, within you. Because human experience happens within you. Whether you're in Coimbatore, Delhi, Timbuktu, heaven, still human experience happens within you, isn't it? So you can transform it here instead of thinking of going to a different geography. And where is heaven? Upar. Upparwala is a very North Indian term.
ऊपर वाला सब देख रहा है.
Dekh rahe. But you're on a round planet and it's spinning.
Yeah.
And it's also moving at a tremendous speed. So do you really know which is up in this cosmos?
Yeah. Technically, no.
Not technically, no way do you know
You
which is
don't.
up, which is down.
You're constantly
Is it somewhere marked this side up? No, that sky is up. But you go to Australia, sky is here, is it? I'm saying you know nothing. If you realize I know nothing, you're a natural seeker. Seeking is not coming because of a teaching. Seeking is the nature of human intelligence. If you don't feed any nonsense into your head, you will become a seeker. Otherwise, to avoid seeking, you can believe something and avoid seeking for the rest of your life, but when the moment of death comes, you will not know a damn thing. If you are so sure you will go to heaven, if I put a gun to your head, you must be joyful, oh my God, he's sending me to heaven. That's not true.
Yeah.
The only value that you have here is life. Everything else is made up in your head. Castles in the air.
So the reason I'm asking you, Sadhguru, about what your school days were like is because I think it's changed considerably from when you were in school, from when even I was in school to now.
Nothing has changed, things are better, they're easier, nobody's beating you. They used to knock off my knuckles all the time.
Then it got better. But now they become too easy on kids.
So because it's easy, they're stressed, is it?
They're still stressed. They have all sorts of mental issues.
So that's got nothing to do with the school.
What is it then? Is it social media? Is it…
No.
What is it?
See, we want to blame something. This is what I was telling you. This is a civilization which tells you the way you are is your karma. If you don't understand your mental well-being and physical well-being and any kind of well-being that you know is your responsibility, then nobody can manage this for you. How you are, what kind of thoughts you generate, what kind of emotions you generate, is it not your responsibility? So you think because of social media, I think social media is fantastic. Never before in the history of humanity could human beings communicate like this.
But does it also become a race then?
See, that's up to you, isn't it? Isn't that up to you?
No,
How
I
much
think
of what you do?
100%, but I think for some it leads to a lot of
See, I want you to understand,
mental…
if you give them food, people don't know when to stop. They go on eating. If you give them drink, they go on drinking. If you give them social media, they go on doing it. Give them whatever, they'll go on doing it to a point of destruction. So the problem is of compulsiveness. Compulsiveness cannot be cured by taking away social media, taking away food, taking away this, that. Compulsiveness can only be cured by consciousness. If there is darkness in this room, you can only cure it by turning on the light. You can't kick the darkness out. You never will. Right now, this is what the whole attempt is. We are trying to kick the darkness out, it'll never go.
But can teenagers be conscious? Do you think at 16, 17, they understand what's happening around them? I doubt it. Do any of them even like take time out to meditate, to be with themselves?
See, it's not necessary everybody should start meditation at the age of 12, 15. It's great if you can, because today it's available. When we were growing up, we didn't even know there's such a thing existed, all right? But isn't there so many ways you can fix yourself?
How?
If you see, is it difficult to understand that I am the one who is thinking like this and making a mess of myself? Because all of you, when I say all of you, the society is supporting, oh, this is because of the examination, this is because there is so much subject to study. What else you got to do when you're a student? I had many things to do. You just going to school and coming home, what else do you have?
But then if they… So you're saying, a lot of them recognize that that they have to work on themselves. But then it triggers a self-destruct mode also in some of them, where they, then go down the wrong path, get into depression, all of that comes in.
See, don't go into all that. The simple thing is this, it's a problem of compulsiveness. Can you cure compulsiveness with some tablet?
No.
Consciousness is the only way you can cure it. We have not invested in that. We want to trim it on the surface and get away. It won't work like that. Problems will take on various forms, but it will not go away. You're compulsive about lollipop, then you're compulsive about drink, you're compulsive about food, you're compulsive about some other nonsense endlessly. It can't be cured like that, by shifting.
I was at Kumbh last week, you were there too, Sadhguru. I met a very interesting person there. He is now called IIT Baba.
That was not me, that was not me.
No, you of course you know Sadhguru. Have you heard of IIT Baba?
Yeah, he was here for a few months with us.
Okay, okay. What do you think of his story? The fact that, you know, he graduated from IIT and then left
What
all
is
that
so
behind.
big about IIT? You could go to any damn place.
It's challenging.
I'm saying, if I wanted, I could have gone to any damn institution in the world. It's
Okay.
just that I didn't want to waste.
You chose not to.
I didn't want to waste my years going and sitting in a classroom.
It's a waste.
For me it was, not for everybody. For me, it was. So I didn't go. So I'm saying these things, these are all cliches. Somebody went to Harvard means, oh, he's Harvard. Everybody who goes to Harvard is not some this thing, huh? The thousands of people are there. Even you look at the alumni, there are millions of alumni from Harvard. We have our center, Sadhguru Center for Conscious Planet is in Harvard. I've spoken there many times. What about it? And the people wear Harvard t-shirt and go, it's available in the airport.
Yeah.
Anybody can buy it. I'm saying an institution is created with a certain facility, certain, whatever. They are able to educate people at a certain level. If you say, I've gone to Isha, does it mean to say you're enlightened? No. Everybody will not do that, anybody will come and go.
Yeah.
We also have, you met the cows and bulls, they also are here. I'm saying, this is not the point. IIT, he went, he studied, didn't make any meaning to his life, so he chose something else. I don't see anything drastic about that.
You don't think it was a result of just societal pressure, of him saying enough is enough?
No, why?
He went to…
Why should society pressure you for you to come to your senses? Why should? Can't you come to your senses by yourself?
But that's what happens now a lot.
See, that is where
Most
our
of them
focus
give in.
is. You think no human being coming to their senses without somebody pressuring them? Millions are, but they are not news. People who break down are news. Today it's become the norm on the social media, among the influencers, everybody has a sob story. You know what happened? I collapsed, this happened, I got depressed, then I came out, I was on medication, then I came out. Everybody, just look at it internationally, not just in India. So telling a sob story has become an in thing. If you don't have one, please make it up. I don't have one. No matter who does what, I'm here, the way I am. So, why is it?
So you think it's become fashionable almost?
It's become fashionable to be sick. See, I want you to understand how human mind works. During the Victorian era, then they produced some great English poets and stuff, literature happened at that time. At that time, it was fashionable to have tuberculosis. It was called consumption. We lost a very good poet to that. We lost John Keats at the age of 24 or something because he refused to be treated. Because it was very intellectual to smoke and if you don't cough, you're not intellectual, all right? If you look robust, you're not intellectual. So we have these kind of skewed things in every generation. Don't become a victim of that. This nonsense will come and go.
The reason I ask it is
This is why you need SANATAN. What rules your life? What are the laws which govern the life process? You have to come to terms with it, that is SANATAN. Always. 10,000 years ago, if you came, the same rules for life. Now same rules. 1,000 years later, same rules. Socially, everything is changing. That we have to learn.
The reason I mentioned IIT Baba is also because there's a huge conversation right now over what's happening in these coaching centers, like in Kota, and the number of student suicides being reported with, notes saying, I give up.
I'm saying all these people, parents and also students now, young people also, they all wanting to go to IIT. What is their desire? You think they have great affinity for engineering?
No. They want to make it in life, I think.
Make it means money, right?
Yeah, wealth.
That's all. So they must suffer.
Really?
Yes, you're doing the wrong things for wrong reasons. Right? I've met so many people in IITs, I've spoken in many IITs and IIMs. Those who are there wanting to learn, they're not stressed. They're striving hard, but they're not stressed. That is fortunately still well over 50%. But those who are there for prestige reasons, Those who are there because they think they will get something out of it, they're suffering and they must suffer. Wrong type of engineers, wrong type of doctors come out here, definitely it's a damage to life, isn't it?
But isn't this a societal problem? The pressure that society
There is-
puts on
there is
people to be
no-
successful.
No, there is no such thing as society. There are only individual human beings. Together, all of us are sitting here, now we say this is society. But still within us we are individual people, isn't it? So why are you blaming it on that? All these people made me like this. No. I am allowing them to make me like this, or I'm like this and I'm putting it on somebody else.
So, if you wanted to repair this, how do you repair it? Individually?
The repair thing is, now we are in an educational institution. One important thing is, we are trying to put everybody through the same extruder. Everybody should come out as a square piece. This is damaging human genius. You're just seriously damaging human genius. Many things are happening to the country because of this. This has not been taken note of, I've put it across to the highest offices everywhere, education ministries, but still not much action. They made some changes last year, but that's not significant because without qualifying people, those changes will never become a reality. The delivery qualification is needed, right? So one important thing is, let's say in the rural area in India, they're all going to school and learning English little bit. We are also teaching them English. We are making them proficient in speaking English because this is a passport to go out. Very important.
Yeah.
Today in the world, English language is important. But they're reading poetry, rain, rain, go away. When their fathers are crying, there is no rain. All right? Because somebody's poem. Leave that aspect. But the important thing is, now first 15 years, from the age of 5, 6 to another 15 years, they're spent in the classroom. Till recently, there was no detaining rules, you could not detain a student. Right up till 10th standard, they go straight on. Whatever, they don't know how to add 2 plus 2, but they are in 10th standard because you can't detain. This is a compassionate rule that they brought. This misplaced compassion is always the problem. This was brought because if a student fails, then the parents will say, go take care of the cattle, enough of your education. So they kept him in the school. But when you kept him in the school, you should have had that kind of commitment and capability and qualification where somebody would make sure his time there is fully made use of. Now, you did not go to the farm with your father, you did not learn carpentry if your father was a carpenter or blacksmithery or whatever crafts and trades that they had, nothing you learned. Nor did you get educated, but you have the attitude of the educated. You're wearing blue denims, suddenly, American workman's clothes in the village, all the kids are wearing, all right? I'm not saying they shouldn't, but why is the question. And now when they come out, they don't… physically they're not capable of going back to the land. Physically they're not capable of doing carpentry or blacksmithery or anything because it needs a certain resilience of strength, physical and also skill, both are not there. What do they become? They'll go and become a security guard in the city. Suddenly they can go to the cinema, they can have a drink in the evening, This becomes their life. But I'm saying their capability, their intelligence, nothing is made use of, they just put into some slot and they live in some bad slum, 15 people in one room. Terrible things happen there, it's not nice.
Yeah.
At least here in the village they lived with some dignity, even if it's a hut.
Yeah.
Even if they lived in a leaky hut, still there was some dignity. Now what is happening is, you go and survey, if you want, we have done some kind of a basic survey. Not even 2% of the farmers want their children to become farmers. But anyway, they're not here, they're already gone either to college or to work in a city or gone to America, many of them. In this area, a lot have gone to America. So next generation, who will farm this? No.
Nobody.
All the farmers are playing the farming like it's the end game, they're just looking for real estate prices. When the price gets good, they will sell it and go buy an apartment in the city.
Correct.
There's tax benefit. If you sell your agricultural land and buy a house in the city, there is tax benefit, there's no wealth tax for you. So everybody sells their land, gets it there, and anyway a portion of it they'll get unaccounted, so they'll have cash at home, they'll live well for the next 20 years. After that what happens, who cares? So we are going like this. None of the crafts are being transmitted, nor do we have training centers. Everybody can't go to IIT, and it's useless to have that many engineers. You need craftsmen. You need various levels of skills. There is no that. Now private agencies are running skill development, they made a big attempt. It's
But
okay.
are you disappointed by it, in the sense that you don't
it's
see
not-
enough conversation
it's not
with skill?
happened the
Even
way-
today, right now, the political discourse is, let's give everything free. Let's not skill anyone to get a certain job.
Now free business, you're going somewhere else. Delhi election you're going with. Let me… I don't want to get into Delhi election. For skill development, you need a different atmosphere. I'm saying, in a rural school, why are we teaching things? Unless, see, there are only certain kinds of intellects which are fit for academic purposes. Now everybody's academic, minimum you have to do BA, BSc, BCom something. It needs a certain academic skill. Most of them don't have it, all they do is copy, or they pay somebody and pass. In many colleges, I'm very sorry even to mention this, there are many colleges where there is money to enter the college and already there is money to leave the college. There is… when you enter the college, you can buy first rank. Do you know this?
I've seen some, yeah. It's a racket.
You don't call it a racket, it's business. See, because they all invested, all right? They have invested so much money. In everything there is money, because you went to the election and free, I'm saying this, because somebody was telling me, Jayaprakash Narayan, not the old one, the new one, Jansatta. I was having a conversation, Sadhguru, they are spending 150 crores in one constituency. I said, they're not spending, they're investing. They're investing. They know if they invest this much and if they get elected, they will make double of that or
investing on
5
themselves.
times of that.
Oh.
They're investing, it's a business. So once they've invested, they start a whole ecosystem like that and everybody is going the same way. This is because you're unwilling to privatize things. I have repeatedly gone to the extent of speaking like this. I say, I will teach trash. I will teach absolute nonsense. I will charge a bomb 10 times more than any other school. Parents are happy, children are happy. What is the problem of the government? You think you love the children more than the parents? Hello? It's a very wrong idea. It's a very wrong idea for anybody to think we care for the children more than the parents. There's no such thing. Parents are willing to pay through their noses and they are happy with what's happening, and children are happy with what's happening. Who are you to tell me how I should teach, what I should teach? You said boards. Why am I going and hitting the boards? Why? See, this is why every year nearly or over $25 billion worth of education is going out of the country. You allow me to build an university. Without all these restrictions, I'll build something. I'll teach some nonsense. I'll charge a bomb. But students want to be there, parents want their children to be there. What's your problem? We'll produce something that you can't imagine. And these billions going outside will naturally, after some time, stop. And above all, the brain drain will stop. All the best brains are going away somewhere.
Yeah.
So if IIT Baba goes to Canada, you're happy. If he comes to Mahakumbh, you have problem. What is this? I'm sure if he's there, if he has the inclination, he will do something engineering about the next Mahakumbh.
That's a good way to think of it. But the problem is, I think with Gen Z, they're driven…
What is Gen Z? They're the last generation, is it?
No, next is Gen Alpha.
No, Z means
Which is
last.
apparently the peak. Which is apparently, I don't think… I think my generation is the peak. But Gen Z…
I thought after me it was all downhill.
Oh, no, Sadhguru. We are right there on top. But with Gen Z, their focus seems to be very on material wealth, on whatever it takes to get rich. Look at the influencer culture. You know, get there in like a year, you stay on top, and then what? What next? What is your 5-year goal? What's your 10-year goal? They don't have one. Because they're rich now, they seem content.
They're not content, they may be rich.
But how do you… you know, they're driven by material wealth essentially.
See, always people have been driven by material quests. It is just that in 21st century, Now you can sit here, take out your phone and order something, boom, it'll come, there's
Yeah.
quick commerce, Q-com will come, in 10 minutes they'll deliver something. So you think they are material. No, even earlier, just imagine, you want to buy something, you are in a small town, you had to travel to a big city, stay somewhere, go through all that, but still people were buying, isn't it, whatever they wanted? Then what, who was more material? Less material was available, that's all.
And more hardship. More hardship to
That's
get
what I'm
material.
saying, so it delayed. Now they're getting it quick, isn't it nice? They're not wasting their life.
You don't think they're driven by it? That's what's defining their life?
It is individual, I don't want to make a judgment on a whole generation. There are individuals who are driven just by shopping. There are individuals who shop when they need. I don't see anything wrong with that. And they don't care to go and walk in a mall, they get it home.
Yeah.
It's fine, I think it's efficient. The same goes for food. Food arrives, whatever food you want.
Yeah.
But then somebody does not know, if they have to cook, they would have cooked 1 item or 2 items. Now they order, everything is there, 10 items they ordered. So because 10 items have come, you have to eat more. Still it's not over, you have to stuff it in the refrigerator and eat it the whole week. This is unhealthy, this is individual, isn't it? We provide you a service, you want to misuse it. Whatever is given to you, you want to misuse it. Why? Compulsiveness. This is why spiritual process is so significant in everybody's life. If that is not there, as material well-being becomes easier and easier, you will ruin yourself. When there was hardship, the chances of you ruining yourself was less, at least you were physically well exercised. Mentally you were busy trying to just earn your living.
Correct.
Now when it becomes easy, you must understand this is the whole concept that you're seeing right now. One fundamental underlying factor is, without any enhancement of this, life around is getting enhanced like never before. You'll go crazy naturally. You're trying to enhance your activity without enhancing this, it's like this. You just now saw an Africa twin, okay? That will go.
That's the bike, by the way.
That will go. You can go 275 kilometers per hour. But you got a little moped, I don't want to say the brand, little moped. Now you go very fast. Now 2 wheels will go in 2 different directions. I'm saying if you want to do a certain thing, the machine should be ready for that, isn't it? Similarly, if you want to conduct your life in a certain way, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, you must be prepared to that level. If you're not prepared, you don't do anything about it, you keep on enhancing your life, you will crack up. What else will happen?
Do you think that's happening with the Gen Z? Do
Oh,
you think
it
that
is.
they're…
See, I don't want
they
to…
are seeking?
I don't
Do you
want to
think-
blame a generation.
Yeah.
It is happening to lots of people around the world because they're enhancing their activity and life without enhancing themselves. Spiritual process means to enhance this. If this is enhanced, you're driving a Ferrari, speed is not a problem. You don't have to struggle, it'll go.
Yeah.
That's all. You make a Ferrari out of yourself. Now, life and speed and how much you do is not a problem, it'll do it.
No, the reason I say Gen Z is because they're obviously the future of our country also. So they're going to be taking the country on
Because
their
some of the
shoulders going
journalists are
forward.
saying, Sadhguru owns Ferraris and this and that. Unfortunately, I don't, it's too expensive for me, but tell them, I am the Ferrari. I can drive this anywhere I want.
You're not the monk who sold the Ferrari.
No, I am the
You
Ferrari.
are the Ferrari. No, so for the Gen Z generation, and the reason I keep harping about them is because they are the next gen of the country also. And there's so much talk of how addicted they are to social media, that they don't have time for the real pleasures, the real life. I mean, I want to know from you, Sadhguru, for example, here at the center, how many Gen Zers actually do you see coming in?
Well, I'm there and most of them are young people.
Correct.
What age group is Gen Z?
I'd say in their 20s now. Yeah, they'd be in their 20s.
Well, there are lots of people in their 20s.
Who are coming in?
Oh yeah, always.
Oh yeah? Okay. Because the sense is always that they are not so in sync with,
No,
spirituality.
They're very
They're not
much in sync.
seeking.
I want to tell you this, if they are so much on social media, they can't avoid me. All right? In 2024, our video views have been 5.7 billion with a B. Unique views are about 1.7 billion.
Well, you're a Gen Z, you're right.
No, 1.7 billion means literally 25% of the adult population, all right? So you can't say young people are not looking it up, they are. I was just walking on the street, 12-year-old boys and girls, Sadhguru, Sadhguru. I say, you idiots, how do you know about me? They say, we're watching your videos. Your mother must have forced you. No, we are watching the videos ourselves, we like it. Somebody brought with their boy who's playing for under 15 in the India cricket thing. So in their house it's a joke that if in case Sadhguru forgets something, this guy can remind him, because it seems he's not watched a single thing that's been published today till now. Whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you name it, he's watched every video. He's only 15.
My God. So for you, do you enjoy using social media? Have you been able to ace the game?
Well, I said 5.7 billion, huh?
Yeah. So you scroll yourself? Do you doom scroll as they call it?
No. I don't go on it.
No.
No.
You don't doom scroll on Instagram?
I just do the content and they…
So you don't doom scroll, watch those reels non-stop?
No.
Oh, thank God, Sadhguru. It takes a lot of time.
I don't have the time to do it. I'm not against it, but I don't have the time to do that, and the content may not be mature enough for me, a whole lot of it out there.
What do you make of all of this, chatter on social media? I think abroad also a lot, it's seeping in a bit into India, of gender-neutral pronouns and the likes.
I think with the new administration in America, all those things are out. So it'll go out in India also.
I want to know what you think of it. Do you agree? If someone comes and says, Sadhguru, call me they, them.
If you want me to call you a donkey, I'll call you a donkey, what's my problem? I don't know what you want to be called. As far as I'm concerned, you're a young woman, so my English language says you're she, but if you want to be something else, you tell me, we'll call you it.
That's a demand, it.
I'm saying I have no issue with anything. All I'm saying is, all these fads will come and go. Now the administration has put a hold on it.
Yeah.
No more teaching of all this in the schools and stuff. But as far as reality goes, Sanatan, don't think Sanatan means a religion. The eternal law is such that creatures and human beings also, which is also a little evolved creature, among all creatures of little evolution, there are some which are not, but larger creatures at least all have male, female in them.
Yeah.
Because it's a reproductive arrangement. Without that, we wouldn't be here. Somebody did not reproduce, you and me will not be sitting here and talking all this, isn't it? So it's a reproductive process. But reproductive process is troublesome, painful, many things. You think our parents would have produced it if there was no incentive of pleasure attached to it? They fell for it. Because the nature is created like that your intelligence will get hijacked by your hormones at a certain stage in your life, and you think that's it. After some time you may feel foolish about it if you wisen up, but at that moment it looks like that's it. So if that doesn't happen, you and me wouldn't be born. Generations ago we would have closed the shop, isn't it? So now because we are able to control birth, we are just going for the incentive without the basic intent of why nature did this to us.
Yeah.
We are only trying to enjoy the incentive without the production of what it's supposed to be. It's individual choices, I don't have an opinion on that thing. I don't make opinions on such things, it's individuals, whatever. But childbearing, rearing children is not an easy joke.
It's reducing in the country also drastically, the numbers.
It's okay, let it reduce, we are 8.4 billion people, all right? I know many politicians will get against me because they're encouraging have more children, more children. This more children business is because Muslims are having more children, so Hindus have more children. If Hindus have more children, Jains have more children. If Jains have more children, Jews have more children. What will happen? At the beginning of 20th century, we were 1.6 billion people. Today we're 8.4 billion people, more than 4 times over. And in the world, all other species are dying out. 82% of the vertebrate population has gone down simply because our population has increased. Human footprint is such, all other creatures are perishing. We are not understanding they are all foundational life for us to be here. If they are not there, we will also collapse. Starting from the microbes to everything else, we will collapse. See, it's like this, to put it into scientific facts. If all the insects disappear tomorrow morning, this world will end, including you and me, in 4 years, 4 to 4.5 years' time. Just insects. You think they're always pests, isn't it?
Yeah.
If all the worms disappear, have you… anybody called you… have you called ever somebody a worm in your profession or at home?
Oh, no.
You never did, okay.
I don't know if I've been called one though.
That's possible. So, if worms disappear, within 1.5 to 2 years' time, all life on this planet will disappear. If all the microbes disappear, world will end instantly, because 60% of your body is microbes. But if you and me disappear, world will flourish.
Yeah.
So I'm saying we have misunderstood the priorities of how life is. We are 8.4 billion people. Some people say, no problem, we can produce food for 20 billion people. You can, but every other species will die.
As a result of that.
That means life will collapse. So, all this has happened not necessarily because we have reproduced rampantly, it's because we are extending life, we're living longer.
Yeah.
In 1947, the average life expectancy of an Indian was 28 years. Both of us shouldn't be alive by those standards, all right? But today, India's life expectancy has reached 73, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
We're living more full life. 28 means what? Most of us didn't start our lives 28.
Yeah.
For most people, not me, I started early. For most people, they're still getting out of the university,
Yeah.
preparing for life. So 28 it ended. How many lives went waste without realizing the potential of who they are? Average life expectancy was 28. Now it's 73, good, it needs to go further up. So essentially what we have done is, we have postponed the death.
But does that mean an aging population then?
No,
And not a young
Don't
population?
think like an economist. It's a… do you want to live full life or to make sure everybody is young, you want to die soon?
No, I'm okay with living long. I don't mind if there are more kids, that's not my problem. I live, that's fine.
When I was in Davos, right now Davos is on.
Yeah.
A few years ago when I was regular there, one of our ministers was giving a morning speech, India breakfast. He went on bragging, we are the youngest nation in the world, we are youngest nation in the world. All those, international people, they're all looking, oh, you are the youngest, you are the youngest. If you said once, it was okay. You said twice, it was okay. 6 times, it was okay. You said 15 times. I had enough. I said, but what happened to the old population? What happened to the old people in the country? Said, no, we are the youngest population. I get it, sir, but what happened to the old people? In a country, if people are not getting old, that's not a great thing to brag about. Hello? Everybody lives to their full life, everybody lived to their old age, that's a good country to live in. Oh, you see what's happening in Japan? Go and live in Japan and see, it's definitely better to live there than here.
I was going to say it though.
Huh? Go and live in Japan for 15 days and come back, you will see it's definitely better to live there than in the local village here. You're simply talking out of your head without any sense. There should be old people in the society. That means everybody is living full lives, isn't it? But at the same time, if you postpone death, you have to postpone birth also, which has happened. Normally, a young woman in India, let's say in 60s was… average age was about 16, 17, she was getting her first pregnancy. Today it's moved to 21, I think.
Yeah.
It needs to move further up. Because you postpone death, we have to postpone birth, that's the only way you can manage this. At any time, 3 generations should be alive. Yourself, your parents and their parents are alive, it's fine. But today in many families, 5 generations are alive. That's not good. I know you can't tell that to those people, but generally in the planning of the nation's population, if 5 generations are alive at the same time, you feel like there are too many people. It may not be due to the birth rate, it's simply because it's happened too soon. That's the idea. We are saying till 18, the girls should not get married before 18, because we're trying to postpone the birth date. One thing is for the well-being of the girl.
Yeah.
But it's also important we postpone the birth of the children. She marries at 18, the first child will come 20, 21, reasonably okay. But if it comes at 25, 26, 30, it's better for the present population the way it is. But there are nations which are making laws, they can marry their girls at 9. Just 2 days ago, Iraqi parliament passed the law, at the age of 9, you can marry the girl, consummate the marriage. What is this?
And there's no outrage.
There is no outrage in the world. What happened to all the women's liberation nonsense? Why nobody is talking? The country should condemn this, isn't it? Not only people. Big nations must…
Of course, lead
Put
by
it down.
example, yeah.
But nothing is happening. At the age of 9, you can marry a girl. A 9-year-old girl is not a girl, it's a child. But you're marrying her off for whatever reasons.
Do you think in that sense, in the world itself, there's a conversation about some countries, there's condemnation of some countries.
See, that is because, see, when
And
it
not
comes
of
to
others, like India.
press freedom, do you know you are worse than Afghanistan,
Yeah,
Somalia?
yeah.
How's that for
Which
you?
is ridiculous. But that's my point, that there's a narrative.
No, that's what…
And how do you combat
See,
that? Because you must.
The Western nations always understood the power of narrative. Because of imperialism, they understood narrative is everything. They come to your country and make you feel inferior with their narrative. They're coming and taking everything out of you, but they make you feel inferior by creating a narrative. So, they understand the power of the narrative. I think slowly India is picking up on the narrative now, but still it has to really pick up. The narrative that we have consciously drawn is only a few years old and little bit. Otherwise, we always let other people draw the narrative about us.
Yeah.
They
And
said
let it
whatever and that became the reality.
Yeah.
They said whatever and that became the reality.
Do you think the challenge is also that India's become very westernized in its ways?
I don't think so. It's only… if you're only living in Delhi, you think so,
No,
probably.
do we respect our own cultures, our traditions enough? Or do you think we give in to Western traditions, even on social media, what's Western is cool?
See, that is there. That impact is definitely there, I'm not saying it's not there. But compared to any other country which was ruled by foreign invaders or occupiers or whatever you call, 1000 years we've been occupied nation. In the last 200 years, properly occupied completely by one force. Still, you just see how the Indians are in terms of their dress, food, culture. We made the English like our curry. We didn't go to bread and breakfast in the morning. Delhi families are doing this, bread and breakfast in the morning.
This has become like a Lutyens Khan market reference, Delhi.
I'm saying I've been in families where in the morning, all they playing, their forks and knives. I say, I don't need all this butchery stuff, I'm not going to eat a steak. Why do I need all this fork and this thing? What is it? No, Sadhguru, bread and butter. All right, for butter I need one knife, but I'll catch the bread in my hands and eat, I don't need anything else. I'm saying the thing is, a certain class of people have taken to it, but the large population has not. We are very Bharatiya even today, 100%. Just look around and see. Only in the urban population, totally screwed up, their brains are in Greenwich Mean Time. We are still in the local time.
No, I'll give you an example of eating habits of food and how, there's this narrative that Indian food isn't nutritious. It doesn't pack enough protein. You're not getting protein from Indian food. Dal has nothing, you don't eat enough, so you need to eat, more Western cuisines.
No, meat, you have to eat meat.
You have to eat meat, you have to eat Western cuisines, salads, this, that. So, you know, what do you make of that? That, you know, eating habits.
See, now one particular research, it's Harvard research, so it must be true. We also have a lot of Harvard research now because we have a center there. So Harvard research says 30% protein and 70% carb is the best way to eat your breakfast. They're talking about your idli and dosa and pongal, all three are like this, okay? In northern India, I think their diet has gotten ruined because they face more invasions and more upheavals.
Yeah.
South, we were protected.
True.
They didn't come so deep inside, even when they came, they didn't have such a grasp over us. There they just changed everything. And a whole lot of Turkish and Arabian food became North Indian food. So because of that, it's very easy for them to shift to Western food, not here. You give them what you want, they will like idli chutney, idli sambar.
True.
Murunkai pottuku saapukada.
Kaalil oru dosa venam.
So because we were not disturbed like the North Indian, especially that Gangetic plain from Punjab up to, let's say, Bihar, that area took the maximum beating. Their culture went through an upheaval for 1,000 years. So that kind of thing has not happened south, so here it's still there, but even in the north, in the rural areas, they're still very, very absolutely Indian, all right?
Yeah. Here in the centers…
As I said earlier, the urban narrative has become the most dominant because you guys won't leave Delhi and come, your cameras won't focus…
I'm here.
Now you come your cameras won't… See, here sarcasm,
No,
now served all day, all right?
what perfect placement, Sadhguru!
So,
I was just looking what's written behind me.
so, it is just that the urban populations are controlling the narrative. Anywhere in the world, it's a very skewed narrative. People think United States means, oh, New York City. New York is not United States, it's nothing like United States, New York City, all right?
Yeah.
If you go deep into United States, it's a totally different country. So urban narratives have become so strong because media is focused there. So many things are focused there, as I said, investment is focused there, so everybody is creeping into urban centers, which is very dangerous because by 2035, it's expected 220 million people in India will move to urban centers from rural areas. Just imagine which city is ready to take 220 million people.
They'll expand, but they'll expand at the cost of these
It's
villages.
the greatest disaster that you will see. Already you are seeing. See, the thing is, you've not really gone there, maybe you've gone there as a journalist, but most people have not gone there. Just go into the actual slums. Don't go to one nicely developed Dharavi thing. Go to the actual slum and see. When I've been there, the whole slum in Mumbai, on the way to IIT Bombay, it is, Mumbai IIT on the way, the whole slum is in like above the ankle kind of filth. You can only walk in that. You understand?
God.
Every day, going into your house, coming out of your house, you're only walking in that filth. We are letting people live like that because so many are moving in, you can't build infrastructure for them.
So what's the answer then? Rural development, what is it?
Yes, you have to urbanize rural India. You have to empower them. This is the time to do it because today there is technology. You can set up your India Today office in, you know what?
In Coimbatore.
Tippagondanahalli, because there is Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You can run your office from there, I'm just joking, but it could be done. All you need is a couple of journalists in Delhi. How much of parliament do you cover? Anyway, you don't go inside, you also watch the TV and report.
Correct.
Right? You can do it here only. I'm saying this urban mentality should go. We must urbanize rural India. See, right now the local village which is here, which maybe has one 25 to 30,000 population, if the first chance, if they get little money in their hands, they'll go to Coimbatore. Why? They wanted to watch a movie. They watch the movie and then they'll drink Money ran out, they'll borrow some loan from somewhere and come. Now the loan keeps ticking. To pay the loan, they have to go again. Like this, if you had a theatre, if you had a little bit of sporting thing here, if not in every village, at least within 20 kilometers, 25 kilometers, if you had a theatre which runs every movie 3 days or 4 days or whatever, you must run those kind of things, sports centers, and maybe some places where you can see sporting, events like cricket is happening, IPL is happening, somewhere it's displayed on a big screen where people will gather and watch. If you do these things, they will not go to the city. When the farmer who has to do his work wants to run to city in the 5 o'clock bus because he wants to watch the movie, then have a drink and come back, and he'll come at 1 AM in the morning. Next day morning, you think he'll get up early morning and go to the field? No, you just see they're not coming. They're coming at 9, 10 o'clock. Otherwise, Tamil farmers are the most vigorous farmers. 4:30 in the morning, they are on the field with their animals. This is how it used to be. Now, no. Because we are setting a different culture, because so many things are not available in the village, we need to enhance that.
And how do you make people also… There is this craze that you referred to earlier about going abroad. Study abroad, work abroad, that means you've made it in life.
Nobody wants to go abroad. Everybody wants to live better. If the only way to live better is going away, they'll go away.
But that's no longer the case, is it, Sadhguru? You get everything now here.
See, that's for you. Because your earning is at a certain bracket. But for others, just say let's say you're earning 25,000 rupees a month. Your rent, 8,000 rupees, with less than that you don't get nothing. You even have a two-wheeler, monthly expense is running to 5–10,000 rupees. If you have a child, school fees, you're on the edge. If you go and land up in some country, you'll have a car, you'll have a decent house, you'll have things, you'll have a garden. All these things will come naturally. So, people are not wanting to go to some other country. People want better life. If it was available here, they would do it here. Why would they not do it? Right now I said this about education. People don't want to go to America or Australia and study. Definitely parents don't want them to go. But for the sake of quality education, they're risking their children's lives. Because once you go there, how many will come back without tasting drug or alcohol is a big question mark. 90% will touch something and come. Whether they get hooked onto it or not is a different matter, but untouched they won't come. And many other problems are there attached to that. But if there was real quality education here, why would they send them? But you're not allowing us to create that. You have government policies which are still socialistic. If you say anything, if you do anything which is little exclusive, immediately the whole bunch of people, oh, this is for the elite. India is not one India, we have layered our population, unfortunately. There are many layers of India. So here we have different types of schools. We have Isha Vidya, which is for the rural people. That school is designed to get them out of the economic and social pit in which they are. Isha Home School, see how it is run, it's very different. This is for the affluent and well-to-do. Like this we have different levels. We need different levels. I'm saying, let the government do schools for the underprivileged. Let them bring them up. Why are you asking private schools to do that? And you are fixing the salary of the teacher, okay? You are fixing the number of students a teacher can teach, and you are fixing the fees that we can charge. You know what? If you have ever been to school, any of these people who fix these things, just add up and see the fee and the salaries and the expenses don't match. Then what do? You have to do some corrupt practices, which they are doing rampantly everywhere. This is why we are not expanding, we just stalled everything. Because otherwise people… See, all my volunteers are here because they think they'll create something fantastic which they can't do in their life. Now if they come here, then I go and say, go and bribe this officer, do this, do that, they will think, what's happened to me? They came here with a very strong sense of integrity which I displayed right through my life. So now if you don't do all that golmaal, you can't run the school. And as I showed you, they're showing me in handcuffs.
My God.
No, because, you know why? Because we don't pay. We don't pay there are… I'm sorry, you're wearing yellow, so I'm not referring to you. There are some yellow journalists, okay, not
This is
dressed
just
yellow.
coincidence, yeah.
There are some yellow journalists who want money. Otherwise, every day they'll write one dirty article about me, all right? They don't spare anybody. My mother, my wife, my daughter, nobody they spare. They have written all kinds of things. And there are other activists who want money from us. Of course, there are certain government officials who want money from us. We don't pay anybody. So everybody decides to trouble us one way or the other, endlessly. When everybody is looking for one wrong step you will take, you know how hard it is to run on a daily basis with thousands of people working around here?
Does it anger you though?
No.
That this is the system?
They cannot decide how I am. They cannot decide.
So how do you combat it on a daily basis then? Because I'm sure it consumes a whole lot of energy.
It takes unnecessary levels of time and energy. So many things that we could do are not being done because every day handling all these idiots on a daily basis without paying money. If we pay money, it'll all settle.
It'll be smooth.
Yes, it'll be smooth. They are trying to teach me a lesson, you are in India, you better learn your lesson. I'm trying to teach them a lesson, if India has to move forward, you have to be like me. You don't take money, you don't give money. So, who will learn? Maybe I will learn, maybe they will learn, but I will not give up. They may give up, they have to give up, otherwise they have to eliminate us, that's the only way.
Okay, Sadhguru, let's talk about the Isha way of life. What is the Isha way of life for anyone here? And I've been here for the last many hours. It's been very interesting to see how, this entire place is run by the volunteers, by everyone coming together.
There is no Isha way of life, it's just life.
Oh.
Isha's way is life's way.
I'll tell you an example of what's Isha way of life to me, which is that you have 2 meals in a day, not 3.
If you were below 18 years of age, I would give you 3 meals. Even if you're below 21 years of age, I would give you 3 meals. More than that, once your vertical growth has stopped, 2 meals is more than enough for you. Otherwise, you will start growing horizontally.
I take 3 meals, Sadhguru, thank you very much.
I don't know what kind of meal you eat, we eat full meal properly.
Okay, so 2 full meals.
So I've crossed a certain age, I eat only 1 meal a day. Only 1 full meal a day.
1?
Yes.
And what time is that?
Normally between 4 and 6 in the evening I
And
eat.
that's it?
That's it.
You don't get hungry?
See, this is not by rule, this is by need, you understand? See, it's like this. You have a car, unfortunately you have an electric car, you won't understand. But that also we can say. See, let's say yesterday you drove 500 kilometers, so you filled the tank twice with petrol. Or you charged it 3 times. How much does your car run?
Yeah, I think charge it once a week.
Then you're not driving it, it's parked.
Office and back.
If you drive like me, in one day I've sometimes filled the tank 4 times.
My God.
I empty the tank 4 times. Because I will drive means I will drive non-stop 1,000 miles, I will drive in a day. So, yesterday we drove 500 miles or kilometers and we filled the tank twice. Today it is parked, I drove it only to the school. So twice a day we must fill the tank. Stupid or no? Activity and fuel are measured, isn't it? According to our activity we eat. This is not my way, Isha way, this is life's way. This is how every creature eats, except the pigs which eat continuously. All other creatures are very measured, they will eat according to their activity.
So you're saying on a day when there's lots of activity, you eat more?
Of course we'll eat a little more.
And on the other days, it's 2 meals?
For me?
Generally. What's the prescribed
for
according to
everybody
Sadhguru?
it is 2 meals.
2 meals.
In the ashram it's 2 meals. But many of the brahmacharis and others slowly have shifted to 1 meal according to their age and activity, because lot of them are just sitting in the office and doing stuff. There are other construction teams, even if they eat 5 meals, they will digest, but they eat only 2 meals, but they eat more. Like that, and if they're out on the field, maybe in the afternoon they'll send some buttermilk or juice or something to them because they are out on the field.
Yeah. This is something that's going to gain a lot of curiosity because everyone's talking about mindful eating right now. Everyone's talking of Ozempic right now.
See, whatever nonsense, all this doesn't need a fad, it just needs little awareness about what's happening with you. When your stomach is full, why do you eat? Compulsiveness, isn't it?
It's habit also,
No, it's not that. Habits are formed out of compulsiveness. If you have a habit, there is no good habit, bad habit. All habits are bad because essentially you're doing things mechanically without being conscious. Once you surrender your ability to do things consciously, you have surrendered your humanity. Because that's the high point of being human. In our lives, see, we are not doing anything different from what all the other creatures are doing. You are born, donkey is also born. I'm sorry, monkey. No, because you're looking little like this.
I don't know, monkey is any better, Sadhguru.
Because it's closer, I'm saying.
Okay, sure.
In evolution. So other creatures are also born like you. You grow up, they also grow up. You eat, they eat. You sleep, they sleep. You reproduce, they reproduce. You die, they die.
But they're not obsessed with how they look.
That's all no, they are also. Oh, you should see the birds are not showing off. You've not seen. So, essentially the only thing is, you are not doing anything different from what they are doing. Only thing is you can do it consciously. They do it instinctively. This is the fundamental difference that sets you apart from other creatures. If you surrender that doing things consciously, you step back in evolution.
Just before we wrap this up, and I know I've taken a lot of your time today, Sadhguru, we started off the conversation with, how you like to focus on individual growth, freedom and all of that. So I want to ask you, on all of the projects that you worked on, whether it's Save Soil, Kaveri Calling, you've done also this mission of freeing Tamil Nadu temples. How do you pick these projects? What are passion projects for you?
No passion for me.
Is it environment driven? What is it?
It is driven by what's most needed right now.
What do you see right now is most needed?
The most basic thing that's always needed in any given society is self-transformation. Because if human beings, individual human beings don't transform and rise, there is no way you can raise a society or a nation to any great height. If you create great human beings, you have a great nation. If you create lousy human beings, you have a lousy nation. It's not the other way around. Even in a lousy nation, there can be great human beings. But if you create enough great human beings, there will be a great nation, correct?
Yeah.
That's all the effort is always. In that, small things which have not been attended to by anybody, but which is falling apart, like soil, falling apart. Fortunately, in just 2 years, we changed the narrative on the planet. See, in the COP events, they're the main environmental events, there was no mention of soil in COP 26, which is 2022. Right now, soil is the main theme. We shifted the narrative from oil to soil, which is a massive change. Policies are changing in many nations. Some of them have just adopted the policy that we offered them as is. Some of them have taken it in parts. India also taking in parts, making lots of changes now. The budgets are going into soil aspects now for the first time. These are significant changes, but it'll take time for it to take effect, to actually see the results. And we have set up things like Kaveri Calling, which is significantly changed the soil. You can't change the river condition without changing the soil condition. See, people think these are all separate things.
Yeah.
They're all the same thing, it's about life. So temples, because temple is the fulcrum of this Sanatan Dharma. Temple is not a place of prayer. It is a place which is created with there's a certain scientific process to it, you consecrate in a certain way for a certain purpose. Did you sit in Dhyana Linga?
Yes.
You go there without any instruction, you will become meditative. Just sit there. Don't take cameras and all. Simply sit there. Not knowing anything, you will become meditative. We told you sit there only for 15 minutes, but you will sit there for an hour and come. It'll just naturally happen. Because that energy is like that, that's why it's called Dhyana Linga. Like this, there are many aspects. Do you go into the Devi temple?
Yes.
So you go there I don't know how you went in, but many people come there not knowing anything, they just walk in, they burst into tears. Because the energy is
So
like
the
that
energy,
there.
yeah.
So, this is a whole science of consecration. This is why so many varieties of deities. For different aspects of life, there are different deities. If your thing is about transformation and liberation, you go to Shiva temple. You're lacking love in your life, you go to Krishna temple. You lack peace in your life, you go to Rama temple. Like this they made because they were consecrated that way. And they created those personalities around that so that you can focus yourself that way. So this is a very scientific, development of a whole civilization as to how to enhance the human being. So if you give this up, if you destroy the temples, which is being done, because right now government clerks are doing puja. See, you can easily run a temple without a god. But you can't run a temple without a devotee. Devotee is the crux of a temple.
But is it discrimination against devotees? That's the claim, that we need to control because there's discrimination.
They make a law, it cannot be discriminated. Hello? You make a law, no discrimination can happen, finish, no. You don't have to take it over. You've taken it over only for economic reasons.
You think the funds are being misused?
Use the properties. See, it is not even the British. When East India Company came, they took over the temples. It's a corporate. East India Company is a business house. They took the temples. Why do you think? Wealth, gold, diamonds. Even now you see Thiruvananthapuram temple, billions of dollars worth of gold.
The Padmanabha Swami.
Padmanabha Swami temple. You come from their part of you. So they were only interested in that. So you know how it came out of their hands? The British population, the Christian population protested, how can good Christians run pagan temples? So they gave it up. Can you believe this? And that same law you continue and you think you're doing service? No. You see temples are just slowly deteriorating because temple was not just never a place of worship and prayer. Nobody leads a prayer. Nobody told you must go and pray in the temple. This is all recent things. Otherwise, at least in South India, the instructions still remain, if you go to the temple, you must sit there for some time. Because it's a certain energy's place, you can charge yourself with a certain type of energy, specific to that deity. It's been created like that, all the processes around that are for that. You stay there and imbibe this and enhance your life somehow. This is the whole idea. Discriminations came later, government can pass a law, nobody can be discriminated, anybody can go into the temple, finish, no. About only this community should do puja, there is no such thing. Start a college, Agama college. Start a Agama university where anybody can enroll, train, if they qualified, they can go and do puja. How long does it take? In 5 years' time, you can change the whole damn thing. For that, you take the temples and ruin it. In Tamil Nadu alone, over 500,000 acres of temple land is there. Is it in the hands of the temple?
No.
You know what is the income? There are 500,000 acres of land and some 1.2 crore square feet of built area for the temples. The income is 123 crores in a few years ago, what they announced. The income can be made 100 times more, all right? So right now, all these lands are occupied by all kinds of people, usually people with political connections. Now if temples come into the community's hand, if they just pay the present market price, because they've built schools, colleges, homes, all kinds of things, we don't want to go and demolish that, you just pay the market price and keep it. The market price is paid, this will run into lakhs of crores. 11,999 temples in the year 2012, AIADMK government presents in the High Court that no lamp has been lit for 4.5 years in nearly 12,000 temples because they don't have money. You ask the local community, they light 100 lamps a day. Will they or not?
Yeah.
One lamp they're not able to light. this is killing of the whole civilization or not? Because this is a fulcrum. This is where art, music, culture, everything happened. This is not just about God. This is the only culture which is conscious that we make the gods. Everywhere else they've been made to believe God made them. This is a culture where we make the gods. Today you may be buying it, Ganapati festival comes. Normally everybody made their own Ganapati. I make my own Ganapati out of dough. You make it, worship him like he's everything. After 3 days you go and drown him, dissolve him in the water. Why? Because we know we made it, we used it for our well-being and dissolved it. Can you do this in any other culture?
I don't think so. I don't think of any of it.
In Bastar, there is a whole big festival during Dasara. 1 year they would have worshipped that goddess. At the end of 1 year, just before Dasara, they
Immerse.
dissolve that and make a new goddess. Nowhere else is this possible. This is very important that you know you made all these things. You wrote the books, you wrote the scriptures, you made the gods, you created the heavens, everything. If it's not suitable for today's life, air-condition the heaven a little bit.
That's a great note to end this on, Sadhguru, for all the time that you've given us. Thank you very much. My takeaway is that I will not sleep 8 hours a day here.
No, don't try to avoid sleep.
Reduce
I'll
it.
give you a simple practice. Slowly sleep will reduce because you're more energetic. You didn't go to the gas station, not because you don't want to go, because you still have gas.
So I have to reduce the number of meals I take, reduce the number of hours I sleep.
No, you don't think on those terms. That's a negative way of thinking. If you eat in such a way that one meal that you eat powers you for the full day, why would you go on eating? If you keep your body in such a way that it doesn't need too much rest, why would you go on resting? You will be active, you will do something.
I need to achieve that.
Yes, for that I'll give you a simple practice. Start doing that. Within 6 weeks' time, you will definitely be sleeping lesser by the hour. Less and less, slowly. You don't have to just suddenly cut it. If you deprive yourself of sleep, you'll damage your system.
What is the practice, Sadhguru?
It's called Shambhavi Mahamudra. Simple 21-minute practice you do. Within 6 weeks, in your day, minimum 1.5 to 2 hours extra you will get. Good investment.
Excellent investment.
For 21 minutes you get
21 versus 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
And quality also will improve. That you must measure, how it's improved.
Okay. I'll check on this. I'll definitely try it for sure, because I'm very curious to do.
7 days of the week, 18 hours a day, almost everybody here.
Wow.
You don't see anybody stressful people?
Yeah, no. I can learn a thing or two for sure. It's been amazing spending the day here at the Isha Center. Thank you so much, Sadhguru, for indulging us, for taking every single one of my questions also so patiently. Thank you.